Hi, I'm Chris, I'm Vangelis, and I'm hosting a live stream on YouTube. It's a new function they've added to the website, and I'm joined today by... Where'd you go? There you... No, that's not you. Where'd you go? I'm joined today by Aaron. There's Aaron.
I am here.
I found you. And, Aaron, how's it going today?
Going all right, doing good. Busy week, but that's life, right?
Hey, yo, I got a new pen today. It's fat. It's like a cigar. Oh, I actually got it yesterday, and I immediately like sliced through somehow one of the O-rings on it. So I got this repair kit full of O-rings. The one O-ring that I sliced is the one not in the repair kit, so I just put a smaller one on for now, and I'm hoping it's not leaking. So far, it's not.
That's helpful that they don't give you everything to repair what you need in the repair kit.
Oh, I appear to have forgotten to turn off the YouTube auto-translate. All right, well, my apologies, everyone, for the stupid automated checkbox I missed. But also, hello to everyone. Hello, Oma Ender, and Alex Kidd, and Long Was Here, and Axe Smith, and Kit1969. Why that year if you were 9 years old in 2006? I said Long Was Here. Chris Muse. I see a Chris Muse. Dynamo Dave. Corrito Prime. TFA Cliff, Sideswipe Prime, Sam Wellbell, Ali Convoy, Corito Prime, Skysew. Hello. My apologies once again for YouTube's and Google companies' amazing, I assume Gemini-driven automated feature. This one isn't. I don't know where this is from. Something on like GitHub or something. I don't know what this is. It's meant for Twitch, but it works. Yeah, Aaron, we're doing some 2006 again. By the way, I got a little bit of update on the current. I meant to tell you this before we started. Got a little bit of update material on the current panel situation. The last thing I heard was, are you okay with Sunday 9 a.m. and if you had to pick one panel, which one? So I just said the collector mental health panel, partly because that's the one I know I can do, partly because that removes the rush of us trying to, if we're not doing the 2006 one, it removes that rush, but also that way I'm not committing you to a 9 a.m. Sunday panel without telling you first.
You know I got you. I'll roll with it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Hey, if you've got a bit part for me to play on that panel, I'm more than happy to play on that panel.
I mean, at the very least, the bit part could be like, please be my one audience member, because who the hell is awake at 9 a.m. on Sunday and in a panel room? Although we've been through this before, I think, with more than one panel.
Yeah, I mean, I did the one after the 24-hour game-a-thon, so unless you can somehow beat that on fatigue broken levels, yeah.
My main thing is I am stubbornly still going to hang out late into the night Saturday and simply
for sure
set an alarm and get an alarm call and set another alarm on for Sunday morning and baller with it. But also what I've found is Sunday morning panel at TFCon, you can take it easy, you know? No one super minds if you're like 5 minutes late, because sometimes
just two white monsters, one for each eye.
Well, sometimes you're banging on the door, waiting 5 minutes because it's like, did everyone wake up? CAVT, hello.
Yeah.
Are we? Is there? Yes, there is a panel happening. Right.
Yes, with Alfie as a photographer, we've had some of that happen before too. Like, hey, you wanted to get people coming in, right? Well, you gotta let me come in.
But that does take us also to the coupon code. I made this new image just now, 30 minutes ago, to update things. Since it's a week out from the end of the month, I was like, I should probably do the big update everywhere, not just on the Discord. But I think I mentioned this last stream. This is the last coupon code we're doing with Toy Hacks for the time being. Toy Hacks still being the sponsor of the channel, just in more simple ways. They are pulling back on doing like all the monthly coupon code stuff and just doing monthly ad spots. So if you want to use the coupon code, this is your last chance in the coming week. So the look, there's big red scary text and everything. I even made another, if you can tell, I made another copy of that text in black and moved it 5 pixels down and 5 pixels to the right, so it's easier to read.
There wasn't just some drop shadow option in word art?
I do everything man-made. This bespoke drop shadow.
Don't want no clanker option from 1998, by God.
That, and I don't know how to do drop shadow automatically in Krita. And rather than learn that, it took me less. I was like, I could start searching, or I can see if this works, and this is way easier than searching. This just takes me like 10 seconds. So that is the coupon code. It is still running, but there will not be one next month. So if you need your 15% off, etc., do your thing. The last news item we talked about was the Hartman's G2 Stunticons and Protectobots for auction. So that is where we left off. Aaron, thanks again for grabbing the URL. Also, I just realized that was posted by Razorwire with an E. So, bless Ron. Sorry, bless Ren.
Ren.
It all just came flooding back.
That's more old lore.
Yeah. Speaking of old lore, our first look at Alternator's Nemesis Prime. So this was part of this ongoing, long-running thing from also last stream of like, when the hell, where the hell, how the hell is the pickup truck mold coming out, and this was part of at the time, the ongoing story. I remember getting this actually at a BotCon, and I went in for whatever the earliest time you could go in the dealer room was. I went in and I saw one of these, at a dealer table, and I bought it on site because I had just tried and failed before that BotCon to purchase it off the website, where it was a timed, messy sale with a lot like a secret lair sale, is how I remember it. And it went badly, and I was really salty. So I spent too much money. I think I spent like 80 USD on it at the time because it was the first one I saw.
Was that one of those that was supposed to be like a Fun Pub initial release exclusive, or am I thinking something from later on? Because I know at one point in time they supposedly were going to be stocking things and tried it briefly.
I can't remember. I feel like we'll probably get the update as we go through all this, since this is going to be the year when it came out.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure that we'd have it on front page news. I'm just trying to
yeah.
remember. I remember that being a thing.
And also, I should say, 80 is just. I just remember it was I did not spend $100 on. I just remember it was a 2-digit number, and it was probably too big, but it was right there, and I was super salty even then. I was still salty when I walked in that dealer room.
I've had a few of those purchases. Like, I need one more thing. Nobody had that. Guy has it. Screw it. I'll be angry at what I spent later.
Mm-hmm. Also, the exchange rate was whatever it was in 2006. So it wasn't like, I don't believe in 06 we were at the nightmare point we're at right now of like 80 USD is like 110 Canadian or whatever.
No, that might have been the time when it was really strong for you guys, actually. Because I remember there was one of those early Extra Lives or something. Right? There was an early Extra Life where a bunch of guys came down to Lafayette because why? So to support a friend for sure, but like the Canadian dollar was so strong, it was like, why not do something fun for the weekend?
Yeah.
But I wasn't extra lifing at this point yet, so probably not.
We also have our first official high-res images of the Star Wars Transformers Millennium Falcon Combiner. A figure that I am told ages terribly with every passing year.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the one where Chewie ended up having gold plastic syndrome too, or am I misremembering?
Mine hasn't shown any signs of brown plastic.
Okay.
But I also haven't messed with it frequently, so it could be crumbled up in a gallon bag.
So that's why Prime says, yes, all that brown is GPS.
Yeah.
Well, there was the Japanese version of this that was a completely different toy many years later, but I don't think that's the one that I remember being GPSed. Because I remember it was the sad coda to the story of this. I always wanted this combiner too, because I was like, there's something kind of charming about how goofball it looks. And then, like, decades later, I find out, oh, by the way, on top of everything else, it also disintegrates. And like, well, I tried my best. Sky Shadow's out at US retail. Even more images of the soon-to-be-released Alternators Optimus Prime.
What's great is going back to that Wing Saber one. I noticed. Have found and purchased Sky Shadow, the Jetfire repaint, and the long-anticipated Wing Saber, who was the cooler thing.
Oh yeah.
But the image that they show is the Jetfire repaint.
Yes. Kid, I had this. It disintegrated on me about 3 years ago. Okay. Aaron, don't take him out of the bag.
Yeah, 3 years ago is probably about when I last saw it because I was moving. So, if that's a ticking clock, it's done chimed.
Maybe you. Actually, I don't even know the airtight seal helps with GPS. Maybe you held all of its molecules together.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the ramp up to people getting a hold of Alternators Optimus Prime. I recall it being pretty hype at the time because everyone looked at this and just assumed, given the pedigree of the line at the time, oh, I bet that's going to be a great figure and a really good transformation. Little did we know, as I recall at least, this is one of the more bummer alternators to mess with, at least at the time. There's very easy legs, and then a very somehow, even though this is late in the line, I think that's what really disappointed me at the time. The torso was so finicky and particular and jammable. I remember actually giving up on transforming him for about a week, and that was
the silly shoulder pylons because you gotta Dodge didn't want the cuts to be better or something.
Yeah, they were very particular about the lines.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know there are people who actually do like this toy a lot more than I do, or at least how I remember liking it. I have not messed with this figure in well over a decade. Mostly because every time I see it at whenever I visit my mom, I'm like, I remember not liking this, and then I don't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
But hello, Adamus Prime. I'm waving back. I never got the diecast version, and part of the reason was that I had so many bummer feelings about that version. Hey, a taste of things to oh man, remember when this was the innocent times? Taste of things to come. Amazing fan-made Optimus Prime CGI. Completely believable for a movie by Blasphemy3_D from the CG Society forums. This is in no way part of the upcoming movie. Apparently even more amazing than the fake leaked footage from before. I don't remember this clip at all.
I don't either. But this feels like it's in that same dancing sound wave. Hey, did you see the dancing sound wave? Is that... Yes. Yes, we have.
Like 20 years ago, people were doing some pretty cool stuff like on their own in CG.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, Draven's always the one that jumps to mind as like being very ahead of its time. Stuff that our pal Draven was doing. So I'm sure it was a solid clip. It's just very funny that like, you know, a good-looking fan-made clip is just like, sure, this seems kind of like what we might see out of the movie. And again, this is before we saw what any of the movie robots looked like. So this is like, oh, we're just visualizing. Oh, by the way, I should throw this is unrelated. I meant to mention this beforehand. I tried putting an OBS noise gate on the mic so that you don't hear the hiss of my air conditioner as loudly. I assume it's working since nobody said you sound like a robot. So if you're not hearing a loud in the background, then hey, it's working. Seeing an alternator is interesting to me. Oh yeah. The alternator's having like a full interiors. I think it ages. It becomes more boring and then becomes cool again in like 5-year cycles. That's the thing I've kind of noticed over time. Oh, someone's actually got the animation. Let me snag that and mute it just in case they put like a bunch of... It's only 20 seconds long.
Can't have that much profanity.
It's more if they put like, I don't know, like Machine Head or something by Bush. Oh, you know, that's actually pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
Especially for, fan-made back then. That's pretty solid. 3D blasphemy.
The hands come out of nowhere.
Oh, really? Hang on, I'm gonna turn the noise on for a sec to see if it does. Oh, that's loud. Hang on. It's actually pretty cool sound design, all things considered. Like, they didn't just put a transformer noise in.
Mm-hmm.
Logos Minor, haven't thought about this video in years. Ooh. By the way, thank you, Ollie Convoy, for digging that up. Did that guy work on the 2007 movie? No, this was just a fan-made thing that came out like a week or two after the movie was greenlit. So this was shared on, fandom news sites because they're like, hey, maybe this is what the movie will look like, except better. And so this is when we were still like, no idea what the movie aesthetic was, so we were just assuming, I guess it'll be a realistic truck that like turns into a block man.
Well, I mean, Don Murphy told us so many times that it was going to be exactly G1 as we remembered it. So
yeah.
why wouldn't we think it'd be like this?
Adam Rockmore saying 3D Blasphemy is not online anymore, sadly. Hang on, I didn't pay attention to the hands. I was listening to the sound design. Where are the hands coming from? Oh, wow. Yeah, look at this. Watch the hands. It's just growing out of hammer space. That's fine. Whatever. There's a logic to how they're growing out of there, you know?
Yeah.
There's a fine line. Okay, yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. Can you tell I've been seeing Amazing Digital Circus reaction videos, by the way? I'm gonna... what are you talking about? You can't tell anymore. I just felt an oxidized neuron break apart remembering that video. And that was a 17 megabyte AVI, by the way. 17 of God's own megabytes transmitted over the cable internet. Sometimes the 56.6 internet, sometimes the 14.4 internet.
Yeah, we've not seen the 56.6 call out for a bit, so we may be starting to get into come on, you should have real internet.
Yeah.
No,
at this point, I was fully locked in. Like, my area was just like, yeah, you're on cable. You're on cable, right? We don't even have a phone line. So this will be Missing Link 01 in 2006. How many of God's own PS1 memory cards? I can't remember. Was the PS1 memory card 15 or 5 megabytes? Or am I overestimating?
I don't know. I didn't have a PS1.
Yeah, they always like had a number on them. I just couldn't remember. Hang on, I'm gonna
16.
1 megabyte. I vastly overestimated.
Is that PS2 then?
It was only 15 or 16 megabytes, right? Yeah, the PS1, yeah.
PS2 memory card capacity was 8 megabytes. Later, 16. But common third-party upgrades went up to 64.
Yeah, I even overshot the base PS2. Oh yeah, people mentioning the old Patrick Boivin Transformers videos. I think those might have started showing up around this time, but I can't remember. Also, we have, once again, this is the reporting at the time, no pictures allowed. We have descriptions of what's in the new Transformers Collectors Club newsletter, which was the word for the comic book that they made. It was basically a comic book that had a little comic in the back, but that was the
Love the respect you put on the word made there, brother.
That they made by paying a factory to print it for them.
Then it pays some grandmas to staple in the middle.
Oh yeah, the staple was shared with the Master Collector, wasn't it? I forgot about that. Yeah. That was the trick, was you had to rip the Master Collector and unfeed it from the staple to keep the staple in your newsletter. Quick look at Autobot Flame War factory mishap. Fun pub got before the final production piece was made. It's Flame War with an Autobot symbol on her chest. Not really sure why it deserved any mention, but at least it's a short half-page article. That's brutal. Hasbro shape of what's to come. High-res big pictures of Titanium Prime and Megatron in both modes. Smaller pictures of Cybertron Primus and Metroplex. Roadmap to TF Universe preview. Big hint of what's to come. Where M. Cypher, sometimes viewer of these streams. I don't think he's in now. But yell if you are. We'll explain, or at least attempt to, and put together the Transformers multiverse in 2006. Includes a very cool diagram of how different TF continuities fit together. And I believe this is right before latter half KISS players tried to sort that out on the Takara Tomy end. Sorry, Aaron, you're saying.
Maybe. I was going to say, we have the superior chart, though. We
do. We have Verspringen's mega chart.
Yes.
Verspringen not here to hear himself get mentioned. What a shame. We have detailed bios for the Cybertron, Rid Prime, and Magnus. Big Adventures of Lil Jerry Mini. What? I remember that name. I remember that being a weird name for that mini comic, but I forgot what that was about. Beast Wars 2 Niagara playset review by Alvarez. Which Alvarez? You find out. Art gallery, Since You Wanted Details. G1 Soundwave by Thomas Deere. Cybertron Landmine by Kyle Smith. G1 Hot Rod by Jochimus. Beast Wars Neo Big Convoy by Maximus Primal. Minicon Payload by Matty Boy Anderson. And Optimus Prime's Return by Brad Matthews. Minor spoilers. Best newsletter comic by a furlong so far. Lots of backstory. Conclusion to the universe line. Hint at Downshift's upgrade to Cybertron version. Something weird happening to Skyfall. Cameos by tons of universe toys, including the cancelled Rhinox repaint, or he's consistently miscolored. And Beast Wars 10th Primal explanation for Rid and Prime Magnus's appearance. Even hints at something that happened in the Dreamwave Energon comic after his Yes, it's all plausible. It doesn't feel rushed. Apparently Cybertron Soundwave might be making an appearance. So this was like what we had to work with back then. Was the FunPub AVP stuff based on that work by M. Cypher? I am not sure. My immediate assumption would be yes, but I actually am not sure. Alternators Optimus Prime shipped to U.S. retailers. That happened quick. So there's that box. This was found in Colorado. Well, it was arrived in Colorado. As custom for this retailer, who was this? ePlanet Toys, they throw their new Transformers on eBay the day they get them. All right. We've got profiles for Menasor and Nemesis Breaker. IGN confirms Shia LaBeouf in negotiations confirmed by reliable sources to take on the role of Sam in the upcoming Transformers live-action movie. The original report by the Allspark is now confirmed. Shia LaBeouf's film credits include Constantine, The Greatest Game Ever Played, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, and The Battle of Shaker Heights. This is back when we were calling Sam with quotation marks, because we were like, wonder who that is.
Yeah.
Sam what? We've got some Canadian sightings with a receipt from a Winnipeg Walmart for Roll Bar and Ricochet. There's your extremely covered and partially off-screen receipt. Come on, man. That's no proof at all. The G2 Magnus repaint is out in Japan. So for those who need the reminder, that's what it looked like. It's a pretty baller toy. It's a very cool color scheme that I wish we got more often than I think twice this color scheme happened. This time and then like, did the club not do this on?
I think the club did that on the mirror, on the shattered glass.
Yeah, I could have sworn this color scheme was on I was going to call it the United version, but you know, the Reveal the Shield Laser Optimus. Yeah. Let's go to update some windows I didn't click on, so they stopped distracting me. Apparently this Laser Magnus is now very expensive. The bookcase blasters out in Japan. We got G1 voice actor Michael McConaughey, I always forget which one, to attend Toronto Transformers Con 2006, which would someday become TF Con. Giant Planet Minicon team and a few others are in package. Well, let's see what the package looks like. Let's have that moment of recollection. I forgot the Minicons came out in the Goofy Cybertron blisters as well. It's such a cool shape. Good colors, too. Ethan Phillips to be in the... Who is this? Was he?
I don't believe so.
That's not Glenn Morshower, by the way. Just in case people are looking at the hairline and just rolling with that. Yeah. Neelix.
Nothing shows up as a crossover.
Well, this came from German Star Trek site trekzone.de.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm finding old news stories that point back to that. His Wikipedia page doesn't mention it. His IMDb page doesn't mention it. According to Google search, it's crossing out Transformers as a thing.
Huh. Oh, portents of what the ill portents. Online retailers are being solicited a BTA convoy with Melissa and something called Transformers Atari, which was just announced by Takara. I have a distinct but vague memory that Transformers Atari we assumed was going to be related to the Atari video game console.
Yeah.
Atari is one of the cast members of Kiss Play, the first half of the Kiss Players franchise. So we did not know at the time. Action HQ announcements. New image of Collectors Club Landquake. It's a sick new image.
Just face on.
I think that's a do not sell slash across the front. Looks like one of those, like, this is our factory sample marrings.
Maybe. Yeah, it's been marred, but not.
Yeah. New image of 3-inch titanium War Within Optimus. These things just have a lot of trouble photographing well when you take weird shots like that. Got Got a test shot image from one of these Minicon 2-packs, but I think this was the color it came out in.
Yeah, with the Tampo on there, I don't think that's like probably
Yeah.
the final. But
I was about to say, like, what a weird set of test shot colors for the. I was thinking of the Armada version. I didn't. And I was like, oh, 2-pack,
yeah,
right?
yeah, especially for something that had already been released before.
By the way, the Hartman auction is ending soon on the G2 Protectobot, so get on your bids if you want to own a piece of history.
Crack that package open with your teeth.
Now it's a 0 of 1. There's a Infiltration number 4 variant for a UK convention. Invincible Robot Laboratory has 2 pages of THS-2 convoy images. Hong Kong has gotten Titanium 3-inch Wave 1 and Cybertron Soundwave. Once again, purchased by Remy. Thanks again, Remy. Huge source of news in the 2000s. So this image was identical to the one that I just saw. So I was like, oh, my page hasn't loaded yet because I looked away.
Yeah, I did that too.
And that's why if you go back, you will see me stare for approximately 2 human beats. Like, we got a 5-page preview to Beast Wars: The Gathering issue number 3. I always feel bad that I read The Gathering once, and I didn't read it again. And as time went on, it's one of the first books I genuinely just started to forget what happened in it.
Yeah, that's the one where it's like all of the other like first wave, second wave of Beast Wars that weren't show characters.
I think so.
And then they were like out of phase in time,
Yeah.
so they could try to do things but not interact or something.
It was like, we're going to make this in continuity with the show in the most just hatchet in one hand, leather glove in the other way. It's like, this is in continuity because it happens here in this hole I dug.
They just happened to be on the other side of the planet at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And they never found any evidence that we were here afterwards. Transformers Kiss series information. There appears to be a new radio program that has started in Japan. It's called Transformers Kiss. Apparently the concept is a girl kisses a Transformer, which gives him special powers. Again, we're kind of going like, what does this have to do with the Atari? Yeah, go look it up if you want, I guess. High-res images of the Wave 4 2-packs.
Yeah, so there, that is his release colors.
Yeah, that's the one we saw before. I forgot that these were actually very, like, it's, if I remember right, it's actually 2 3-packs. It's not loading
3
now.
2-packs.
Well, it was 2 3-packs split into 3 2-packs.
Yes.
I can't get the page. It's actually not loading.
Yeah, mine. It's not loading for me now either.
Well, while we wait for that, there's also never before seen G2 Swoop and Grimlock artwork that 23 years later now is manifested as leader class toys, if that Swoop is anything to go by. Here we go. Yes, that is in fact how we turned out. The caramel cone. But yeah, this is from the 2-pack, I believe, that's out now. That 2-pack was not on my radar at all, so I kept getting distracted by it when I saw it on a shelf, going like, what's this? And then would flip the lid up and go, oh, right. Or flip the lid or flip the box, I forgot which. Anyway, this is when we first saw Green Swoop. So pats on the back all around. It only took us 2 decades to manifest. Short Round and Repugnance out in New Zealand. Elvin Pena's Optimus Prime collection up for sale. This was Elvin Pena on the this is the first stage of the exit, right?
Yeah.
Is expecting a second child, needs a bigger place to raise his family, so he's selling his Optimus Prime collection. And yeah, Elvin Pena's Optimus Prime collection was super legit, and Elvin Pena was, in my opinion, one of the final true MISB collectors.
Yes.
In that he was an MISB collector, but not in the weird, like, I don't know how to put this. There was a very specific flavor to how he did it that was not investorly whatsoever. It was more like, I want to make a museum in my toy room, and I prefer, like it wasn't that he gets them MISB and that's in the slot. he would like go through if I remember right, he went through multiple G1 sealed Optimuses, constantly trying to find a slightly better one.
Yeah. He was very kind of museum, like trying to find the best quality one that he could because he wanted the best examples of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was kind of what you were, I think, aiming towards as well. Like I remember that there were other mint and sealed box collectors that were more on the like this is the right way. Like occasionally you get those people in a fandom that like think that their way is the right way. There was one like 8 or 9 years ago that I remember that was like, "Oh, if your display area isn't 10% of the value of the stuff you're displaying,
Oh,
then
yeah.
like what's the point?" Or there was
If you
some
have an
like
IKEA shelf, you should basically set your house on fire.
right, there was some number that was insanely high for like, okay, if I've got a $5,000 item, I've got to have a $500 shelf to just put it on. Let me just get like a silver, like a ounce of silver to put underneath it, because otherwise it's going on fucking plasterboard shelves or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and like he'd also get stuff to open it. It wasn't, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's the other thing is there were, I remember that there were a lot of mint and sealed box collectors at that time that were vocal about their collecting that also seemed like they didn't like the toys.
Yeah, Elvin was always in my memory like the MISB collector who was active and also building bridges between the loose collector and the MISB
Mhm.
collector, whereas
Yeah.
usually it would be a fist fight in a forum thread.
I
Um,
lost count of the number of times that man like used his connects to be like, "Hey, this thing is open, but would you be interested in some other vintage G1 thing or some other oddball Japanese thing?"
hmm,
Um, just to be like, "Hey, like I see it here. Is that something you're interested in?" And I know that he helped out quite a few people
mhm.
in that sort of way as well.
His extended
Elvin,
family also had, I remember, a fairly powerful table one year, and that's where I got my G1 Metroplex from, uh,
mhm.
way back in the day.
Yeah, the whole Pena family is all were awesome dudes,
Mm.
and I hope that they are doing excellent now. And oh my God, Elvin's first kid is of legal drinking age at this point in time.
Mm. As are
Second child is coming close.
as are the MISB toys that he sold off during this
Yeah.
auction. Well, this during the sale. I think this was actually a site sale, not an auction. Um, we've also got, by the way, we've also got a review of Beast Wars: The Gathering #3. Iacon 1. The conventions just keep coming out of the woodwork these days. I do remember this being kind of a thing in the 2000s. Was that there were tons of like one-off conventions. This is the first Iacon 1 show in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They got Venus Terzo and Bob Budiansky coming in. This is a remarkable piece of graphics work for early 2006. Good shade. Good shade. What are sales but efficient auctions? True. What is this? When it comes to official Transformers conventions, this fan community can be rabid and take no prisoners, and that may be the biggest understatement of the year, but Brian Savage has done something no official Transformers convention organizer has done before him. He listened. International members rejoice. Your shipping will no longer cost you nearly 30 USD, but instead something closer to 10 USD. Still a lot of hot hot and bad blood at the 3H era going on in some of the editorializing here. And here's the confusing one, which is actually just saying there's a second run of THS-02 Convoy being produced. Little did we know another run would happen decade or two later for Platinum Series. So that's why Prime, the one time he listened. Hey, Aaron, we got a TFW eBay Launchpad beta. I don't think I understood this back in the day either, to be honest. I guess we mentioned this. I vaguely recall we talked about this in the one or two streams before.
It was the last episode was the Amazon. Was it the Amazon?
It was Amazon. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
This seems like it's more of a feature set than the Amazon one. Here's a picture. Look at that crispy, chunky 1080p font.
Yeah.
On the
I bet most of that was still rendered on a full power CRT.
Yep. Also, I forgot about the launch pad up here with the 100 logos. Good times. Bill's Toys call out. Where was the Bill's Toys? It's on here somewhere, right? There's BotchCon.
Yeah, maybe. We've not seen Bill's Toys
it's over there.
mentioned in a while.
It's under cybertron.ca on the top left.
Oh.
But yeah, Bill's Toys. Also TF Source and Big Bad Toy Store and whatever this RoboCop thing is. So yeah, it's a look at the good old crispy CRT version of a website. Yeah, the Canadian Autobot flag, that was cybertron.ca. That's the long-lived cybertron.ca. The Beast Wars 10th anniversary figures have been found on clearance at Target for $10.28. For all of this. I'm surprised.
I feel like that was a quick burn. I feel like it was only a couple of episodes ago that
yeah,
those showed up.
This was something that was also foreign to me because I'd see Target and I'd be like, well, that's not for me. So I saw, what was it? It's so difficult going back 20 years seeing people getting upset about it could be as expensive as $10. Yeah. I mean, that's just in the last 5 years that well, I mean, I say 5 years. That's actually a fair chunk of time. It's in the last 5 years that the shipping logistics disintegrated almost globally. We got some articles, toy reviews. Hey, check Omega's Prime doing some writing here. Back when you get a link PayPal to your eBay payout. I don't even remember the old eBay system. I sold stuff back then. I sold a World of Warcraft, the trading card game Turtle Mount code on eBay around about this time. Is that a burned CDR? No, this is just it is a burned CDR. 32 times.
Wow, that one is
32 times speed, 700. Hey, 700 of God's megabytes right there on that disc. Respect.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It was I don't know. They might have been burned in the factory, but they had real labels on top.
Yeah, I kind of glazed over that because I wasn't looking. That's very funny. First look at the back of the box of the Millennium Falcon Combiner. I thought I was so excited about this before anyone actually had it because I was like, hey, this might be the moment when this line steps it up, really blasts into hyperspace. Infiltration 4 out on Wednesday. Event schedule for okay, what is April 20? Okay, same month. So we're still on the same timeline. We're still on the same timeline. New image of knockoff World's Smallest Skywarp. We got a Beast Wars exclusive listing at Toys R Us for the X Tiftra Primal versus Meh for $40. I think this was I believe this was the 2-pack of the 2 Ultras. Because I think that was the only versus that Primal Megatron had in the aughts.
I think that was that the one that was the alternate color one.
Was it?
Where it was like the brown Optimus and the.
Those were single packed, I think.
Were those a single pack? I can't remember. They had like 3 different releases of that.
Yeah, I might be wrong. I'm always thinking of the Ultra 2-pack, and I was like, was the Ultra 2-pack $40? Because if so, then just like let me go Yakuza punch the wall for a second. The crossover Falcon is one of many examples of a multiple decades old toy having better sound quality than the Lego Smart Brick.
Yeah,
we bullying the Smart Brick today. Not that that's wrong. The smart brick is my understand. I haven't looked into it that much. My understanding of the smart brick, it's trying to do something it absolutely should not be trying to do in the space of a Lego brick. Is my understanding.
Yes.
Um, Don Biz, that was the Ultra 2-pack. $40 for the Ultra 2-pack. Those were big. Those were big toys.
Mm-hmm.
Those were big toys. The smart brick is my understanding again is the smart brick. I'll keep it quick because I want to stay on the news, but like, it's trying to be an omni speaker that receives input of what it should play, so that it can play anything. But it's also in a Lego brick, so all it can do is make weird, wet little noises in varying tones.
Not just that, but because of the way that it also has LEDs to it and wants to do everything else, like it gets programmed with a certain thing for the toy that it's in. But then when it sees different colors across the sensor, it does different things. So you can repair certain Star Wars ships by running the green wrench in front of the optical sensor, and then it makes a clanking sound. The Star Wars sets, like Star Wars has a very iconic sound font.
mm-hmm,
Things sound a specific way in Star Wars. The smart brick sounds nothing like that. It
mm-hmm.
sounds like the Timu knockoff of what they got off of Alibaba.
Apparently, it also lasts about 30 minutes and then needs a 4-hour recharge.
Yeah.
Oh. And a gyro motion system that barely works.
It's everything that I've seen on it. It seems like it's a great idea where they tried to push technology, and it seems as if they got so far along and somebody went, you can make that all the way. We're putting all of this other stuff into production. And maybe those engineers went, no, 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 it's not gonna.
It just to me the main thing is like the feature set. I remember when I read the features, I'm like, that's a cool idea. Just why are you trying to cram it all into a brick? Really, that's the
Yeah.
like. It's like this is cool. It's what a neat list of features. Put it in something this big, you know? Like don't. The battery thing also
it takes
is
longer to charge because it's a tiny battery and it's trying to
yeah.
use induction charging. So, like, you can't jam that many electrons in through the system safely, especially because it's Lego and they're going to want, if nothing else, they're going to want more longevity on it, would be my guess. So
Yeah.
they like limited how that works in order to let it provide more longevity otherwise. But yeah,
It'll be a fascinating curio once its era, I think, comes and goes.
yeah.
But right now, it is very funny how it's the Gundam seed of Lego from my distant observation. Which is to say, even the people who kind of like it are also like, also it sucks. It's
Yeah. I think they looked at what they did with like the Mario, Luigi, Peach, like big fig thing.
Yeah.
That could hit the barcode scan things and had like you could update it based off of an app. And then went, hey, we could make it smaller.
Kid, I'm not all. I'm just repeating. I don't know nothing about Gundam Seed. I'm just repeating what the Seed fans told me. Okay, I'm just. The Seed fans told me we love Seed. Also, it sucks. And I was like, okay, that tracks with everything I keep hearing about it. She's laughing. Aaron, I accidentally started the Seed Discord or discourse. Hey, listen, we got new pictures of the Giant Planet Minicon team, who are in some sick colors. And I keep forgetting that these were not from Armada. Because in the post-Armada Minicon world, these do have a very Armada look to me that I think a lot of the post-Armada Minicons tend to lose over time.
I feel like I've seen these three specifically at every show in a loose bin.
People should be buying them if they're cheap because they're
Yeah.
they're cool toys. That submarine is sick. is one of a very still kind of small number of boat transformers as well.
No, it's an upside down gun.
Sorry, upside down gun transformers. Man, I just finished. Tomorrow, the Armada C Minicon team video comes out, and I did not make an upside down gun joke once in it, but that's because I was trying to be period accurate, so my apologies. We've got the Bomb Magazine Lucky Draw Blue Convoy Gallery. That's so small. That's such a small picture. Thought it was going to get bigger. I hope that galleries of these are actually still up and about and we're like backed up if they are down. Because a lot of these lucky draws, like you can't really get at these things.
Yeah. Oh, and again, this is where Elvin Pena really had his contacts, and I remember there being like he had internal discourse because it needed to be sealed, but there were some sets of those lucky draws that was just like it's in a random box that's at a Toys R Us. Some child got those gold or black fire convoys and played with them like a toy, and probably had playground fights about like, no, fire convoy's black, not red.
Oh, this
your toy's the one that's busted.
This blue convoy was from 1998, so
Yeah.
this probably is incredibly hard to find now. Where was I? That's also the top of the page. Ooh. I had a moment with my gut. I got a little bit of gut rot, and my stomach briefly was like, yo, but it went away. So it stayed down. We've got all white, all black knockoff G1 Laserbeak Frenzies. So this is, again, the era of people having access to the G1 molds and just shooting plastics in for fun, is my understanding of why a lot of these exist. So if you ever wanted to see chalk Cassetticons, here's your glimpse. I wonder...
Oh, hey, super duper don't click that link to see the original thread. That goes to porn. There's a reason why I click those links here, just in case.
That's an envisionfree.com. Sorry, this is for those of you who remember these words. s10.envisionfree.com. A lot of those free message board hosting sites, yes, are danger zone now. JustyToys.hk to release more 20th anniversary trailers. So these are the folks who made a trailer before MP4 ever happened. So I guess they're making another one. So if you have the US version 20th anniversary Prime, it's your chance to grab a trailer. Because before Masterpiece Convoy 4, this trailer did not exist officially. It was a cardboard papercraft in MP1. One that mine still survives to this day. I never got one of these because I had the papercraft. I genuinely was like, I don't need this. I have a cardboard one. That was my outlook back then.
I've got the cardboard. I don't need no plastic.
Sizeway Prime, surprised it took until 2006 to hit. It became a porn link. Well, you know, we keep it. Transformers is very say so, no matter what you do, right? Even with the passage of time. Cybertron Soundwave found in Walmart in Tucson, Arizona, and in Kentucky, respectively. That is a useless receipt photo. I can tell, even the original photo, that receipt is a blob of 10 pixels.
Super blown out, yeah.
They pointed a flashlight at it.
This is also back in the point-and-click camera era. You didn't have a good camera on your phone. You had an entirely separate thing.
This was a photo that had to be developed.
Yeah.
No, if it was, it would have looked better. That was totally an old mid-2000s digital camera. I remember those. G2 Protectobot Groove. Oh, this is from the Hartman Brothers thing. Okay, so I guess they had another groove, or are they just doing one at a time? I thought they did a set. I thought they did a set of the 4. This is even more cruel. Were they just doing one at a time this whole time? That's wild. Because I think...
like realistic police cycle styling. You know, all of those pumpkin orange and...
Jade?
Turquoise, jade. motorcycles that are out there, and then the card back being red.
Yeah. If my
G2,
memory
man, what are colors even, man?
if my memory serves, because I remember TransFan 2 being the one who got all of these. Now I'm having, and maybe this is my brain filling in gaps. So if anyone knows, let me know. But I am recalling now that TransFan 2 had to fist fight on eBay for every single one of these.
Yep.
Okay, one at a time. That's because then halfway through, it's like, so who's going to be the asshole?
Yeah. I didn't get those other three. I am going all in on that one.
And I'm
Pull the
never
equity out of the house. There's like $50,000-$60,000 in there. Let's go.
And then I am going offline forever. I am disappearing. This is the first time we're seeing something about the Bendy Prime repaint. We got a good old. I vaguely recall Beast Wars Rhinox, Beast Wars _Rhinox username. This is the best shot we will have of a 2006 era Transformers collection from Beast Wars Rhinox. A lot of people were into the toy store look with their sealed stuff. I remember these dotted, hole-filled surfaces quite well. What are they called?
Pegboards.
Pegboards, right? I think these were even at, like, maybe even to this day. I know I've seen these at conventions too. But there's something very.
When I got to see the Hartman sealed collection before it all went away, that's how they had it. But it was also like, hey, here's all this version of the aerial bots. Here's all of this version of the aerial bots. Here's all of this version of the aerial bots, just peg by peg by peg.
Yeah. Now, there's something very 2000s to me about like the grainy pegboard photos sometimes with the visible wood slats in the ceiling. It's very, very.
Yeah, that is totally a basement. That's like a water line or something running over the top of that.
Maybe it's one of the many collections claimed by basement floods over the course of the oncoming decade. A new image of the 10th anniversary Megatron with force chip function. Diamond shipping list. Reissue Inferno and Prowl. North American, well, Western world versions, I guess. What the hell is this? Return
and roll out lyric sheet. Oh, for
Oh, I remember this. We talked to the Malachi Brothers thing. So here's the lyrics. If you want to start, your sparks will get blown out. I know I keep on trucking like Optimus. You dudes stopping this. That's recalculous. You keep popping this, you just jocking this, you get smoked like an Energon rock, you prick. You're not that slick, I'll take your laser core, hit 2005 store, and then I'll blaze some more. Everyone was smoking weed. It's just weed. Over and over again. Taking haters to war, 84 Inception, and I scored some weapons to thwart your deception. Strap with street sweepers, heat seekers, my speech bumping speakers, you yellow like sunstreaker, shift like old Ironsides with my iron hide. You want to fight, I might just smite you tired guys. Fire up the engines, all systems go, cause I'm a Cybertron pimp, I'm a trick your hoe, ram jet and spit this flow, get this Doji Wonder Armada, gotta rip this show. Thank you very much, that one was free. If you want the rest, I'm available on Cameo. Why are they bolding like it's a comic book? Hey, listen. You want to see the...
If you read the thing, it says that's the Transformers references are noted in bold. In case you didn't understand that Sunstreaker or Ironhide were Transformers references.
I will quote, the lyrics are laced with tons of hidden Transformers terminology and wordplay.
Did you know that Optimus is a Transformer?
Yeah, I don't mind some of these. Scorp, hello. Don't think this song's gonna be popular, just a hunch. Listen. everyone's a critic, all right? Everyone's what the Hang on a second. I'm the one like Teletran with fam like Taliban and Enigma live like Vector Sigma. let's review like G2 and have you with a stigma. You trying to tell me that's not gonna roll? It's not gonna like pop off the charts? On second thought, I'll change gears and insist nerds and dimwits flip like twin twist, bitch. Does that rhyme with insist?
I probably depending on the accent.
Bist. I insitch. Yo, you bastards are silly. Don't let me catch you in Philly. Make you really need to switch up like Blaster to Billy. Yo, that's you see Billy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
that involves you knowing about like a very obscure English dub. What the My skills are timeless, big shot like Primus. I'll drop you spineless enemies with live hits. MILF Hunter, I'll wonder you far from large like Wind Charger, Cliff Jumper. Add that to TF Wiki. Wind Charger and Cliff Jumper, known MILF Hunters.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was in their bio, wasn't it?
Yes. There's an outro too? What?
I think that's the second song then.
Okay.
And it has intro. The return lyrics by...
What's his name? I like the double asterisk author's editor's note. When he says ape shit, he means Beast Wars Optimus Primal. When he says Barney, he means Beast Wars Tyrannosaurus Rex Megatron.
Look, even in this era, surely we have some truck nut monkey.
Hang on, I gotta drop this last one. You wanna be me like Galvatron, but you're bound to bomb like George W. wants to pound Saddam. Now how's your mom? I think she's kinda hot, and watch how I convert her like the Dino bots by 9 o'clock. Anyway, I'll move on from
Hey
this.
man, we're just on Tony's website, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you want.
I'll move on from this. Would they even click a link here? They didn't have to. This was just all on the front page. Sorry, was there a line that said that's an awfully hot coffee pot? I don't know, I'm not gonna look. I will, however, just quietly bookmark this for myself for later. I need to refer to this later on so I can do my cover. All right.
I'm sure if you ask really nice, Tony can get you the backing track.
Well, I'm thinking I don't want a backing track. I'm thinking I'll make that Extra Life what do you call it? Milestone.
Oh, stretch goal for Extra Life. Time for the Extra Life plugs.
Yeah, Extra Life plugs. I'll do an acapella of it. I'm gonna go through. I might edit one or two lyrics, but I might throw that in. I think that could.
There's my Extra Life page with the new dice as an option now.
New dice, by the way. Hey, can people put in for dice who are going to TFCon Toronto and then receive dice from you at TFCon Toronto?
Yes, that would be a great way to do it. I will also probably just have some dice up at TFCon Toronto regardless. Because dice goblins be dice goblins. They'll be all like, oh, no, I don't want to make a donation. I prefer my children to be sick. And then I shake some plasticky math rocks at somebody, and then they get all excited and perk up. They're like, wait, what? I could get some dice right now.
Sorry, these are... yeah, and they're new colors too. All the colors are new-ish, at least.
I have 4 new colors, and I have a big one that is the 4 new colors and 3 retiring. We'll call it colors.
Okay. Ollie Convoy saying this weird texting continues until 4403. So I have a feeling that part of the general articles database got slotted into the current news archive.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
So Optimus Prime the Legend.
Interviews, press releases. That's just a whole last press release.
This is part 1 of the Scott McNeil interview. This is Dan Taylor of IDW Publishing. At least these are out here. I'm going to do a very slow scroll past these so that they are... I'm going to go to the top.
There's a whole lot of scroll for what looks like just tech spec numbers for something.
I noticed that on my way up. I'm just going to scroll these in a way where one could frame by frame through, using comma and period on YouTube. If you really want to read these, there's complete care. Oh my god, how long is... Hang on.
It goes.
I'm not going to go slow on this one. I'm skipping this one. I'm skipping this. Whoa, god, no god. Oh, there's more. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
When I said it goes, what I meant was it goes.
Here is a Hasbro Brands press release from 2005. We're on Dan Taylor and Scott McNeil. Okay. Why is it formatted like this? So I'm pretty sure these were in old other subpages. And then whenever this current news page happened, they got yoinked in.
Yeah, this is so we're still pre the last board wipe. And so like I think that at the point that it got upgraded to whatever the latest continuous version is, there was a whole lot of we're going to try to save our stuff, and a lot of stuff got it still exists, but it's a matter of finding it.
Submitted by John 3.0, who you might know as Epic Voice Guy John Bailey. Toyfer just released an article where they interviewed Tom DeSanto, who hinted strongly Soundwave would definitely be in the movie. He just can't be a tape player anymore.
Wonder why people had reactions.
He uses Hugh Jackman and Ian McKellen as Wolverine and Magneto as examples of why it might not be like you remember them. You know, those two embodied the heart and soul of the characters without looking exactly like they appeared in the comics, which is very funny to read as the comics rapidly, I believe, readjusted at least Wolverine to very much just look like Hugh Jackman from that point onwards. But I think you will find the idea of someone other than Peter Cullen voicing Optimus Prime will be a big mistake according to us. Whatever this hyphen was called, the fans. Just about all of us, Cullen is Optimus Prime. Little did you know that that would actually become the case about a decade later. He speculates there will be a second and third film. Thank you. However, DreamWorks is infamous for using star-powered voice talent to draw audiences to their CGI films. Why not have Nick Cage as Spike Witwicky or George Clooney as Mr. Blackrock? I vaguely recall this discussion thread, very specifically. Also, can you imagine if that was the Transformers movie? Nick Cage as Spike and George Clooney as GB Blackrock with a mustache. This is Diamond Select.
We're kind of going back down more Diamond Select.
It's the relaunch article. Some of these articles are from the past, from where we're at right now. Right, yeah. This way, the punk rock experiment is a success. Micromasters, latest debut in Dreamwave's highly successful Transformers line of comic books. Being different can still be rewarding. It's the one, yeah, we knew it was risky to apply such a punk sensibility to the Transformers.
Punk!
Peter Cullen, the voice of the original Optimus Prime, to attend CyberCon Expo 2005. I feel like some of these interviews were ones we tried to click at one point. Favorites from 2000. This is a favorite toys list.
Yeah, this is all just dumps.
Yo, Chaos Muffin. I like Colin's pick for 2005 was a reissue of a G1 toy. The end of mass appeal marketing in toys. This is fascinating. The concept of this article is fascinating to me, coming from the year 2005 or 2006. The invasion of brats into the Barbie market happened back then.
There are a lot of pages.
Oh, wow!
In the news.
There will not be kids in the year 2022 paying $1,000 for Armada Optimus Prime on eBay with their college refund checks. Not 1,000.
Yeah.
But how much is a working, non-melted Armada Optimus mint in box right now would be my question.
Let's see. I'll take a look.
It's not I don't think it's 1,000. But giant bold font.
280 in shipping?
That ain't, that's something. That's something. Yeah, a couple hundred. The toy industry is figuring out smaller niche markets. There should be 10 Transformers sublines. Well,
yeah,
that not 10, but that kind of did happen. Fresh original figures and media each year, low print run, streamlined distribution. Make it cost effective. Pay your designers less. Friggin',
Alley Convoy, is that a legitimate question or is that a sarcasm question?
What's a college refund check? I mean, Grant, I don't know what a college refund check is.
So back in this time frame, before it was disgustingly expensive and only just overly expensive to go to school, like your parents and you would get college loans for a certain amount, and then would like the college would say, I'm going for round numbers here, these aren't real numbers, but say you got a $10,000 loan and your parents got a $10,000 loan, but the school only cost $17,000, you would get a $3,000 check from the school that was the loan money.
Oh,
with the idea that pays for your books or your dorm room or whatever.
Refund is a weird word for it to me, because like when I had a student loan for film school, it was just, these are your student loan payouts, what they called them.
Yeah.
But also, good.
And yeah, like Adam Roquemore says there, like if you had a lot of financial aid that weren't loans, or if you had a lot of scholarships, or if you had a lot of that, it was all like kind of the same pool ish.
And I know it broke down a bit, but there also at this time in Europe, I remember in Germany especially, my German relatives like balked at the idea that you had to pay for college, let alone enter a loan for it. That since has changed somewhat, and it was very painful because it was better when you didn't have to do that, and you shouldn't have had to ever do that. But in the 2000s, that's when I started to learn these vast cultural disparities, like that in parts of Europe, at least, the ones I'm aware of, like it was a huge earth-shaking thing when German students had to start buying something. It might have been the books, or it might have been like paying like a certain like triple-digit tuition fee. It was something that one of my cousins went through, where it was like huge at the time. Like, can you believe we're having to pay like several $100s?
Had to pay like a building maintenance fee or something, and yeah.
Whereas, like, in North America, because Canada's part of this, it's a way to, like, turn you into a hostage when you come out of post-secondary.
Yep. And have you sign up to be a hostage when you're just barely legally an adult?
When you have no idea what that concept is.
Yeah.
In Scotland, you still don't have to pay university tuition fees. Hell yeah. No, like at least in Germany, the way it worked is that it was harder to get into university programs depending what you were trying to do. But also, as I remember that era of Germany, as was told to me, bear in mind, it was harder to get into post-secondary programs, but also trades were not only good, in some cases, trades were seen as a step up from post-secondary, depending on what the trade was, where you were, who your mentor was going to be. So you were never doomed, really, right? Like you could go into post-secondary if you had the grades, you were doing your work, etc. And then if you weren't online with like one of those tracks, you also might be inheritor to like a huge like shoemaker dynasty or something like that, or you might be taken on by like a carpenter of incredible note or something, or you'd be entering a trade world where you're treated with a great amount of respect for having that trade, which is one of those versions of like, well, isn't that seems just logical. And then back in the day, that's how I always just thought about it. It's like, well, I assume that's how everything works, because that just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's very human.
You know what else makes sense? Laguna L8 being the featured fan artist in June 2005. So I know there's at least a couple more pages of these. I'll just keep scrolling before I get sidetracked. Scott McNeil interview part 4. 2 pages ago was part 2 and part 1. Chris Arancini on the G1 ongoing.
You got to jump to page about 4403 if you want to get past all of the just article dump.
That's what Ali Convo was saying, yeah. Dreamwave looking back. As of today, the fate of Transformers came into question. Oh, wow. This is before we knew everything bad. Transformers fan movies and Flash animations! Home.comcast.net. Breakdancing Soundwave. Oh boy. EJ Sue of IDW Publishing. Grats to Little Iron. Going with Joe Ing here. Toy Fair 2005 roundup. I think we talked about this article. Or hypothetically, the contents of this article. Oh my god, the Binaltech story compiled by Nevermore. I remember this. I wonder how much of this was just like hard transplanted to one of the older versions of TF Wiki.
Well, I'm sure if Nevermore's involved, I'm sure it got there. Or some version thereof did.
Oh man, this is such a... I thought we were done with these like major tech hiccups. This is a wild one to run into.
Yeah.
Valkai says, I have this printed out somewhere. Griffman, just a reminder, Little Iron went on... Right! Little Iron went on to design the robots for Giant Saver. That's right. I forgot about that. Oh, man. It's a Palisades interview. Does the Armada Energon comic writer still adamantly refuse to say what his plans were before Dreamwave collapsed? So if I recall correctly, was that not it wasn't Armada Energon, it was the G1 comic with the mysterious art of Elita 1 with like a battle axe or something, or halberd. Little Iron is one of the designers for the Aldi Transformers figures too. Hell yeah, those are like the really good blind box ones. I still have to get one. I always remember messing with Alfie's Jazz and going like, why is Aldi not marketing the fact that they're selling Figmas? Because these are basically Figmas.
Yeah.
I did not know that we had that connection to the Aldi stuff. That's wild. I've been this close to ordering the Aldi Wave with Galvatron in it, but I can't afford it right now with other stuff I've got going on. Did Aldi not do a side swipe yet? I thought they did a side swipe, or am I misremembering? Maybe I'm just kind of assuming they did. But yes, Valkai saying Brad Mick still wants to be paid for the lost stories. Yeah, it was the G1 ongoing with Dreamwave where the writers, never revealed what they were doing. Yeah, Aldi is low-key, I think, making cooler stuff than YOLO Park and Blockies, if only because they're basically making like blind box like pseudo Figmas, but their stuff is like basically AliExpress only, as far as I'm aware. Well, yeah, I'm sure eBay as well, and some sellers, but I don't think they have any kind of pipeline through to North America with a regular distro like Blockies and YOLO Park have. Long was here accurately reporting my words. I'm getting YouTube bait reported. This to say, I do like blockies still. And YOLO Park's fine. I haven't messed with as much YOLO Park stuff. I skipped their little guys, their little G1 guys, because I heard that first wave was total bunkum. But I also heard after that first wave, they got better. I forgot what they're called now, but you know, the little YOLO Parks.
Yellow part, then, or is that the other way?
Keep hearing Aldi. But when I forgot the exact train of thought on this, but like Aldi's is in America, and it was very funny to my mom at the time that she found that out, because Aldi's is also in Germany as like, it's just like, you know, sort of low, like it's just sort of, how do you put this? Is TJ Maxx considered kind of like, you know, not bad, just kind of like low grade? Because I think that's, if so, that's kind of like what Aldi's was to my mom's German relatives.
That's what Aldi is in the US. It is inexpensive. Like you don't have the selection between like pasta brands. You have spaghetti,
I love
and it's
spaghetti.
spaghetti. It's not like, oh, is this cremette spaghetti or is this bueno spaghetti? It's like you go in, they have spaghetti, they have pasta sauce, you go get some ground meat, and then you have a meal. It's not, but it's inexpensive, and you have to provide your own bags or pay per bag, and you have to have a quarter for the cart in order to get the cart out of the lockup with all the other carts.
This, by the way, Ali Convoy did a little bit of digging. Here's the Mazda RX-8 animation from that list. I remember this. Funnily enough, this actually manifested as a toy to some degree. It's a mini car robot. Skip super cool intro. I don't want to.
But why would you skip the super cool intro?
This is some flash ass flash on those toes. That was great. Let's join the fight against gas guzzling. If you have any pop-up blocker tools installed, you'll need to set them to allow content from Mini USA in order to access the website. Also, when I hover over, this thing moves up and down. Whoop! That was loud. I clicked on it. Now it's making noises. I'm turning this down. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Alright, well, I'm going to close that. That's scaring me. Is this breakdancing Soundwave that we have here?
It says breakdancing transformer Soundwave laser.
Oh, I'm not going to play this whole thing. But yeah, this is I believe this is the classic.
It is the
yes.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Conquer the Autobot.
No, when I held the volume thing, I went to turn off the volume.
Hey, Aaron, have you seen this sick video I found? I'm sending you an email. Have you seen this amazing? Do you remember the Transformers? Remember how one of those Transformers turned into a cassette deck, a boombox? So someone made this amazing animation, and the boombox Transformer is breakdancing. Can you believe this? I know no one sent you this yet, so like I wanted to send you this first before anyone else did.
Yeah, thanks, Aunt Kathy. I really appreciate it. It's
You're welcome. You were. I didn't see you at Thanksgiving. I was gonna tell you about this at Thanksgiving. I'm Aunt Kathy now.
Yeah. She's also the politics aunt, so let's not go there.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Have you? You know, this breakdancing Soundwave really makes me want to reflect upon the works of Ayn Rand. What year is this? This is the mid 2000s, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say Breakdancing Soundwave was 04?
Something like that.
05?
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go. Human box transformer has noise. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume on this down again a little bit more, just in case. I don't have a noise. What? Oh, no, there's a noise. Oh, I remember this. I remember this. I remember this. Stupid. This is on the looping GIF. Oh, that's very funny. Can you keep up with all that hard action? I can't. Anyway, I'll bring this back up so Aaron's more audible. That's the intro theme to the Commodore 64 Transformers game.
Nice.
Okay, we're back to the news. Reproduction. Okay, this is more people shooting random plastics into the G1 molds they have available. So this is the.
This time it's clear.
This time it's clear.
I'm sure those haven't exploded under movement yet.
I think these ones might not have exploded, but they definitely are no longer this color.
Yeah.
Same for those white ones.
And I can hear the squeak sound that clear plastic on clear plastic is surely making.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Why is this one long? Puffer so we're having an article or two pop in here now. Welcome to the Puffer Paradise article. This is before Kingdom Puffer. This is about G1 Puffer. All right. New image of the Primus with Unicron head. Was that called out on the back? No. It was just a sticker.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Convention. This is a comic at Transformers Con in Toronto. Radicon's Kit Bash gallery update. Thanks to Redline. I thought I saw Redline in the chat earlier. I missed it amidst some of our excitement. We got a bunch of Kit Bashes. We're not quite to the era. I forgot about Cold, the K-Old naming scheme. Test shot of 10th anniversary Optimus Primal. It's your first look. Very unflattering angle on the ape mode.
Yeah.
Cena Nuva calling out the turmoil. Yeah, Cybertron Turmoil was one of the first threads here. Possible Classics first wave lineup. This is accurate. Infiltration 4, Art of War 2, 5-page preview. Which one was this? Is the Serpent OR one, right? I think so. Yeah. Oh, here we go. New Kiss Convoy and Melissa Atari Transformers info and images. Okay, let's get the picture up first. This is our first look. Wonder what this is about.
Picture.
It's a giant picture here. New information pictures surface regarding the Kiss Convoy and Melissa and the Atari Transformers. Information on Atari is as follows. 1 PVC figure Atari, girl, and 1 PVC Micron figure and CD drama and artworks. Kiss Convoy is Binaltech Optimus with a PVC figure.
Sure was.
Wonder what this is about. We finally have our images of the Titanium Cybertron Heroes series. I remember this was big. Click the thumbnail for a larger image of Megatron transformed correctly. So yeah, the sadness of this Megatron is that that's a completely like cromulent toy for the most part, except that he can't stand. He doesn't have a standing base. He has to be held upright. That's like the critical thing.
I feel like there was a way that you could have him, like if he had a little bit of a grippy surface, you could pose him upright briefly.
If you had like a rubber mat, I think you could like wedge him in and like get him to like stay upright for a photo or two. I did always like the font on the M on the front of his tank mode. I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. I like that gets revealed from within his crotch when you transform him. This Optimus is actually way more of a bummer because this is like, we're getting a war within toy of Optimus, and then it was like this Optimus bummed me out more than the Megatron, because the Megatron at least was like, well, this is new, this is weird. This Optimus was like, this is gonna be so good, and then it wasn't. It was like, okay. The M that looks a lot like the Minicon M. Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah, Optimus's poor shoulders. Where I think I was convinced at the time that, like, oh, they transformed the shoulders wrong. He looks cool, but every limb is metal. He can't pose because of it. That also was something I just didn't think about at the time, because I was like, well, I mean, surely they will just account for that. Metal's better anyway. Masterpiece Convoy restock.
I feel like those titaniums put a decent nail in the coffin of the diecast is always going to be better crowd.
Oh yeah. It's almost like they were designed to showcase the foibles of trying to just jam diecast into something. I'll be twin cast shipping, titanium 3-inch Starscream and Jazz. So that's a fairly big picture. I forgot that Jazz was the alternator.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. You can still get that titanium Megatron for $15 MISB. Someone's got to be speculating that thing. There has to be someone with a basement full of those who's like, any day now. Oh, this is cool. I didn't know Evan's documentaries were like uploaded already at this point. Evantainment is the one of the main AV folks at TFCon, who has lots of annual documentaries of each show.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Takara told me this time, not confirmed, they are releasing this Kiss Play Transformers. They have revealed that the Kiss Play series is indeed in the plans. Even includes some info in their catalog in the recent retailer distributors exhibition held on 13 April. Whatever these Kiss players are. Soundwave wall statue, I bet that never came out. New Zealand has gotten some of the new stuff. How's this photo? Someone sneezed on the camera.
No, that's probably a decently good point and shoot.
Yeah. Well, point and shoot
2000
digicam, I have to assume.
Yeah.
Chris Muse Kermit. Yes, Evan is also one of the folks endowed with the ability to Kermit. Some toy galleries up. The boards are back online after a 12 to 18 hour shutdown. Aaron, we fixed them. All new Junkion Exchange with a feedback system, a new blog system, all new MySpace style profiles. In quotes. I remember these somewhat.
MySpace 2006. That's about right, isn't it?
The user profile page was redesigned to resemble a MySpace feel, but more Transformers oriented. Plus, you can now create your very own tech spec. I think I did that.
Right, I'm sure we all did. Oh yeah, MySpace 2003, and up until 2009, it was the largest social networking site. So yeah, at this time, that was the thing. It wasn't Facebook like.
I don't think
MySpace like.
Kid, I don't think you were able to put music over your profile, but sometimes you could, like, I think the boards had been upgraded past this point, but once upon a time you could force music in using Flash and HTML. But I don't think that was very long-lived. I mean, you could have a top 8. No, but you could add with the new Friends system, your top 9 buddies with avatars will show up on your profile page. Go ahead and get your clique on. Like, click? It's your clique.
What if you click on your clique?
This first last unread post. I remember this somewhat. Being able to go to the first unread post was huge for me, because I used to have to manual scroll to figure out where the new post was.
Hey, it makes a Diaclone thread readable.
Yes.
Today, at least.
Imagine like, back like say a decade ago when the Diaclone thread was only like 10 pages and people had no idea. Alvarez answers 20 questions on the new club figure. New club exclusive figure. Larger than a deluxe, male, Decepticon, based on an existing character, comes with a minicon, Armada mold, has a new head. I don't know as of yet if it'll have electronics, comes with an original minicon, based on a character from Generation 1, has had a previous toy, the minicon is a new character, has been reincarnated in another line, he's not a leader, similar to the original toy but ginormously different in several different ways. Colors include, yet are not limited to gray and purple. He is somewhat of a revisioned version of the G1 character, i.e. Cybertron Blur. Disclaimer, however, the comic writers may choose another origin at some point if it flows better with the story. This character has been seen in the show since the movie. Yes, he has only ever been a Decepticon. This figure has not molded in clear plastic. This was the Astro Train is what he's talking about. The, once upon a time was going to be Space Wave, and then Space Wave never existed, if I recall correctly. So this is Astro Train. Is this purple Astro Train? Yeah, I think this was the Armada Jetfire into Astro Train, I believe. Cybertron Vector Prime repaint. A repaint who is soon to be a repaint of the new 2020s Vector Prime, I assume. Josh Duhamel from the TV show Las Vegas to be in the Transformers movie? That guy from Las Vegas?
Click here for discussion thread.
Does it work?
Click here for discussion thread.
Hello? Hello? Thread not open for further replies. In this, he's posted a non-update. In this non-update, Murphy has announced there's a new draft last week, and that draft may another draft may come in the next week. Shia officially announced, along with some Vegas Playa and Cowboys at Midnight coming soon, whatever that means. I forgot Don Murphy did this like random capital letter. Oh no, he did. No, Toronto Con. Yeah, it is random. Best film idea ever. Weird. That's still his profile pic. Well, this is Redline's profile pic.
Yeah, this is now the current board.
Yeah. I wonder if these just work. Also, thanks to Ali Convoy, here is the Astro Train in question. It sounds like by new Minicon they meant the Cybertron 3-pack. Right. Because it is just the submarine again. But yeah, there was a whole thing about how this, if I recall correctly, there's a whole thing about how this like took the place of Space Warp, and it made Space Warp into this sort of long-running desirable thing. I like, can someone interpret that last bit for me? Because unless that's Murphy speak for Vince Vaughn and John Voight or something, I mean, John Voight was in it. So Pascal with the quality post here.
Not even a full ellipsis.
All right. Well, eHobby Twincast reissue shipping in Decepticon packaging. Can I discuss this on the TFW boards? I can. Aaron.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
Be so many necro threads.
Oh, I don't have the energy to do this. People were not down with who? With Twincast. I remember actually the eHobby Twincast was one of the more like always there eHobby pieces. Lazy. This is Bradder, so it's more like lazy. What? Pip, what? I'm McBradders from the United Kingdom. Oh, was there a bump? No, I didn't. There wasn't a bump, was there? Oh, right, because Twincast was in a purple box. I forgot about that. Sound like Cybertron Jetfire. No, I sound like McBratter's Twin Twist from TFW 2005 from the United Kingdom. Oh, Valkai's telling you to bump it. No, I already did that my one time. I have to call my shots where they matter.
Yeah. You don't waste that special power on just anything.
Did this Decepticharge come out?
Yes. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because I think that's the Honda S2000 that actually had the barrel, like the drive shaft barrel.
I can't remember. What gift did I miss? Was it just the walking mech, or did I miss? Was I not noticing something? Oh, the McBratter's gift. No, that's the classic McBratter's gift. Unless there's another one down here. Megan Fox. That one's not discussable. European repackaged Cybertron figures. First look at the 3-inch titanium alternator sideswipe in package. Well, let's see what the people were saying. There was an anime. Oh, I didn't even. If there was an anime girl, I completely did not notice. Three-inch titanium is going over real well here. Ransack GTS. Some are calling the best repaint in the line, according to the front page news item. Let's discuss this on the 2005 boards. Oh, this is okay. This is a Transfan 2 post. Yeah. Wait, what's this? G2 Motormasters giving support for a G2 Menasor release as a club exclusive. Let Pete or Brian know by emailing them. Oh dear, this has not been updated in a while, this signature.
Yeah, this is of an era.
I forgot about the good old shooting at camera picture. He'll look good next to Dark Crumple Zone. This is what a message board was like for those who just missed message boards entirely. I know there's a couple folks out there. Photo bucket dead links. Cybertron Sky Shadow and Stock. So what did this link to? This couldn't have. This really was just a new thread, right? Okay. Need more money. Previews. I forgot that everything got a thread. Does everything still get a thread? Maybe I'm just...
Everything, I'm pretty sure everything still links back to something.
Because with the third-party stuff, I remember that after a while, it was like, these have to actually just link to the mega thread, or this will be, like, a mess.
Yeah, so, yeah, it links back to, so, like, right now, front page story number 1 is Flame Tours, Kurakara Curry, Long Arm, SG Ultra Magnus, Diatlas, IDW Cyclonus, blah, blah, blah.
One.
And you click that, you go to discuss, jump to this thread on the boards, and it goes to the mega thread in Flame Products, Toys, and News and Rumors. Thread started in 2020.
Yeah,
So
there's like more
not like it's
thread truncation now.
Yeah. Where it just takes you to the Uber thread.
A lot of people liking Mirage more than the Prime. I think that holds true to this day. Anyway, my soft rule I'm using right now is I'll scroll a little bit of a thread, but I'm not gonna like read everything, and I'm not gonna like do every page. I just want to take a little peek.
Little nibbles back in on 20-year-old.
Also,
Find some 20-year-old beef.
visitors to Canada. If you're a citizen of the United States, you do not need a passport to enter Canada or the US. However, you should bring proof of your citizenship, such as a birth certificate, certificate of citizenship or naturalization, as well as your photo ID, such as your driver's license. I always read this going like, maybe I misunderstood at the time, but I was always like, would it not just be simpler to get a passport than the rest of this?
I mean, it is. So at that point in time was still post 9/11, and the rest of the world was a big scary. You'd need that. I think we're getting into the point where travel to Canada by air, you probably didn't need the passport, but it was probably the best choice.
Yeah.
And by land, there were still strong options to cross with just a pile of documentation.
Yeah, that's what I remember with driving into the States too.
Yeah, like if you had a bunch of stuff, it'd be all be consolidated into a passport, but you didn't have to have a passport at that point in time.
It's just
for road crossings.
I remember the amount of stuff you needed was like just enough for me to go like, I just don't understand why we aren't doing a passport. Do you need a passport now to drive in? I think.
Yeah. So, I drive up every year and I drive back every year for TFCon in Toronto. You do not have to have a passport for road crossings. You can have a passport card, which is the same thing, but only good for ground crossings. And if you are a citizen of certain states along the border, there is a thing called a Nexus Pass, which is like a passport card light that is even more restricted than that. However, you still need all similar documentation, all of that stuff. If you have the Nexus card, it's a bit like TSA pre-check, I believe, where it's a little bit quicker. Like if everybody in your car has the Nexus card, they're just like, oh, all right, yeah, go on, unless you hit the randomizer and you're the one that gets pulled to the side, I believe. Generally for things like trucking, that's what they go for because it's more a known quantity than a bunch of randos going to cross the border for a Transformers convention.
Yeah. Just I personally have always recommended, especially if you're air traveling and
Oh yeah, if you're air traveling now, you have to have a full fat passport.
Yeah, and even if you're driving, if I'm sure you'll be fine for the most part, but like especially in the last 5 years or so, I feel that it is a better hedged bet to leave all those documents in a safe place, accessible, someone who's going to still be in the States, and then just take a passport with you. It is, I feel, safer to not be caught without a passport, which is still the sort of peak level international self-ID, just in case something funky happens. I would always recommend it. I know that it's like the system is like.
Yeah. I guess if you have an enhanced driver's license, you can cross.
Yeah.
Finding something this is like from the Niagara Falls tourism.
Yeah.
It says entry into Canada, enhanced driver's license only issued by certain states. So I don't think that's the real ID. I think that's a different, more than real ID. It's just easy. Just get the passport. Get the passport. Get the passport card. It fits in your wallet. Take the passport with you. I take both when I go up to Canada so that it's just 2 or 3 or 4 people in the car, and I hand over all of those passports because I handed my passport card over one time with somebody else's passport, and then the guard was like, all like, oh, why'd you hand me a card and they handed me a passport? And I wanted to be like, because
We're two
they're
separate
both
people.
they're both documents that work. I don't know, man. That's your job, isn't it? Um,
Yeah,
but
and also I feel that right now, because a passport is the easiest way to get an extra saving roll if you just get a person at the border who decided that their bad day is now going to be your bad day. And it's not 100% protection, but I think it is a very good safety to have, especially now that a border person having a bad day can make your life much worse, I feel, than they could have some years ago. So I would say for safety's sake, it is. I would, unless there's a real extenuating circumstances, like no judgment. It's just I would really recommend if you're able to just do a passport, if possible, for the sake of your own shoring up your own defenses.
yeah, Oma Ender, that's the rough thing with IDs in the U.S. since it's all state based, except for the passport. Some states are real ID are to the same as enhanced ID. Some are slightly less. Some don't offer it at all. Because where was that? There was some state that was like basically it was if you were a citizen of that state, it was like a $70 extra surcharge every flight unless you got your passport because the TSA required it, but the state didn't provide it or something. Was that Missouri?
This is also why I'm
all very random states and
for the sake of
everything,
efficiency.
yeah.
If there's a single document that all states have to recognize at the same level, at least on paper, it saves you from someone deciding their bad day is, well, in my state where I now have pulled you over to, this is not sufficient.
Yeah. Memories of when I was out in Connecticut for a few months and got pulled over in my car, and the officer wanted to know why I didn't have a front license plate, and I said, "State of Indiana does not issue nor require front license plates, and I'm a citizen of the state of Indiana." And then he took my driver's license and went back to his car and was in his car for way longer than what it should have taken. And then he came back and he let me off with a warning. But if he caught me again, he was going to issue me something. He was going to write me a ticket. And it was like, all right.
Like, so what you're telling me is you don't want me in your state.
Yeah. You don't understand the interstate compact laws and want to make something real interesting.
Mm-hmm. As I said, this all does, in my opinion, does boil down to the phrase, passport protects you if someone decides their bad day is going to be your bad day. At least to some degree, I should say. It doesn't fully protect you. Also, once upon a time, that the BotCon people had a panel at TFCon. Rick Alvarez, assistant editor of the TF Collectors Club newsletter, was going to be recruiting and answering questions about the club and BotCon at Toronto Transformers Con, which is a wild time. Wild time.
Yeah.
Problem Pharma, do weekend passes usually allow for Friday entry? Yeah, if it's a full weekend pass, because Friday the dealer room isn't open. So Friday you're allowed into the panels that are happening, and the charity auction. There's like a VIP thing that like some of the exclusive sales people give them a chunk to sell in a VIP advance thing, but I don't believe that. I can't remember if that's part of every weekend pass. I never really engaged with it.
There's the premium weekend pass that you get the shot at the convention exclusive Friday night, in what becomes generally the TCG room for the weekend.
Yes, yeah.
And then they have two sets of lineups for entering the dealer room. The premium passes and the better line, and the first line that gets to go through. Then the regular weekend pass goes through, and then there's general admission. I think there's another pass that's in there somewhere, maybe. But
yeah.
There's general admissions. There's single day passes. But yes, if you've got the weekend pass or the premium weekend pass, then that gets you into like the Friday afternoon programming, Friday evening programming as well. So yeah, charity auction, all that stuff.
I need to hear stories about the charity auction, because the thing I'm doing on Friday is not going to be over, I think, until like around 9 o'clock downtown. So I'm not going to be there for any of the Friday stuff. So if anything wild happens, please write it all down for me in fountain pen, so I can read it at my leisure out of a notebook.
See the next multi-$100 bid off happen.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what happens, because there's always at least one.
What happens if there's a custom Omega Supreme there?
Then I need to know who got it so I can speak to them politely.
With a baseball bat.
Yeah, with a baseball bat, Canadian style. Thanks, Ali Convoy, getting me the link. This is the what this article is referring to. This is the IGN article. The huge Transformers April 20 on 4/20, 2006. IGN Film Force learned what actors are poised to join the previously announced Shia LaBeouf in the cast of DreamWorks Paramount's live-action feature film version of the Transformers. LaBeouf will star as Sam, the unlikely teen hero. So Oscar winner Jon Voight is in talks to reunite with Pearl Harbor director Michael Bay as Keller. Keller is the U.S. Secretary of State. Voight and LaBeouf previously starred together in Holes. Another Bay veteran, Michael Clark Duncan, is closing in on the role of Figueroa. He's a Dominican by way of the Louisiana Bayou, chief warrant officer in the Army, spirited fellow who loves to sing, close team member of Lennox. I like, oh, he was in Holes. Also, does that mean Figueroa, is that the guy who's talking about Etouffee and then like immediately dies or whatever, or at least is not on screen again for a while? Isn't he, or does he survive? Is he the one who gets like scorponoked, or am I misremembering? I haven't seen the 07 movie in ages.
Left cheek.
No, that's not Figueroa, is it? I thought the Bayou guy, he's like my aunt's something Etouffee. Something. Learn how to eat my etouffee. I always remember that line because it sticks out.
Man, I don't know.
Who's Lennox?
Well, okay, so Google with a later article has Michael Clark Duncan will not be in Michael Bay's Transformers.
Oh. Yeah, left cheek is Tyrese. Yeah. Boston guy got scorponoked. Okay.
Who Tyrese was Sergeant
Epps. Yeah, he's the one with the double P. That's Figueroa. Yeah. That's Etouffee. Who is Lennox? Sources indicate the Vegas star Josh Duhamel has a lock on the role of the young military commander. Bernie Mac is the front runner for the role of Bobby Bolivia. A casting notice said Bolivia could sell ice to an Eskimo. Tries to get Sam to buy a car. Your typical wheelin' dealin' used car salesman. I remember when we got these casting briefs, we were theorizing about these characters actually being in the entire movie. Yeah. Which is very funny now. Tyrese is Epps, John Turturro is Simmons, Rachel Taylor is Maggie, previously described as a super hot and super smart code breaker for the government. Megan Fox is Michaela, Sam's love interest. Travis Van Winkle is Trent, and John Robinson is Miles. Here is Shia LaBeouf and Jon Voight in Holes. It begins filming next month for a July 4, 2007 release. That's wild still. Englishman English. That's right. Ali Convoy. Figueroa's. Yeah. Englishman English and Etouffee. That's what I remember him saying. Figueroa talked a bunch about eating fried plantains and gator. Yes, that's right. It was fried plantains and gator Etouffee. That's right. I just remember him saying Etouffee because that's the first time I heard that phrase. Oh, we've seen these already, but wait. We can see what's discussed on the 2005 boards. Let's see if it rolls well. A lot of people reacting to Bernie Mac. Oh yeah, I figured Figueroa was a Dawn callback. Someone right here on 420, catching the Dawn reference. I like Michael Clark Duncan. I'm sorry, Primeval. I have bad news for you. Also, this is some good critical thinking from back then. I remember when details about Superlink emerged, everyone bitched about there being 8 humans, then most of them barely appeared. John Voight.
Dramatic chipmunk. Dun, dun, dun.
I'll have to see him in action before I make final judgment. I like this post because it starts off very reasonable and then takes a swerve. So Bernie Mac comes by a damaged Bumblebee, sells it to Shia. Bernie does fit the role. I don't see why so many are against him. And besides that, he just made my nipples hard.
Okay.
Like, there's a certain quality to posting like this that I think didn't quite translate to Twitter. Because on Twitter, you would just, like, your identity would eventually become, I'm the nipples hard poster, right? It wouldn't just be like a thing you throw in at the end of a paragraph. Shia LaBeouf and her? Dude is lucky. And there go my nipples again. You should like that post. It's a good idea. That's quiet. News. Oh, I forgot I can do news credit. News. 20 years ago, you claimed your nipples were hard. I would like to know if that's true. All these dead photo
still
buckets.
hard now.
I was kind of expecting some huge A-list blockbuster actors, maybe as voice actors? People wanting the voice actor news. Was there any reaction to this? I'm also curious. Nope, not one. Oh my god, that's it. Yeah, I saw. You see, one of the tricks, right, is you just keep scrolling. You just don't point at it. You just go like, look, some of the wildlife is in its natural form, still frozen in amber from 20 years ago. And eHobby doing the exclusive 500 pieces with the Unicron head. The immediate jump to the conclusion it must be limited to 500 in retail wide in the US.
No, my dude, it says USA edition.
I may be wrong, but wasn't the US head going to be US exclusive, as in not available anywhere else without having to import it yourself? Well, that is what eHobby is doing. So they are importing 500 of them and putting stickers on them. Twincast reissue out of package. Was anyone mad about this still, or did they stop?
Oh, I'm sure they were still mad.
Someone ask Nevermore. He loves being asked that. See, this was our version of posters snark back then. Anyway. Style and online, no board link for me to click. Carino Prime, back from dinner. Have we had any other dead president jump scares? No, not yet. Not yet. Daniel Ross, Transformers fan comic. I vaguely remember this. Wonder if people were cheering on from in here. People were cheering on from in here. I know there's that signature. Aw. I think the Josh with the Overlord avatar is Josh Burcham. That is correct, Ali Convoy. That is our Josh Burcham. Many years younger and far more baby. I wonder how many Sobies deep some of these posters were. Jesus. Forgot about Sobe. Let's see, preview page. New image of Kiss Convoy with a surfboard? Okay, I gotta see what people were. Toku Chris spotted. Yeah, that is the Chris of the front. That is Chris Kickback front page. That's his full legal name.
Mm-hmm. Feel sorry for his kids.
Never noticed the EDC logo on Marissa's shirt before. The surfboard looks like one of the swords from the rejected Barbie Warriors line I just made up. We didn't have... I don't think we had post likes back then, so when people, like, threw out a one-liner like this, it was just for the love of the game.
Yeah.
You'd post your thing, and then, like, unless someone had something to say, you would never know if people thought it was funny. They would just continue moving on and posting themselves. People not liking the crotch plate.
Second page. Why is he called Kiss again? Nothing about him looks like Kiss. As in the band Kiss.
I want to see that. I want to see that. Looks like he's holding a raccoon's tail. I like this. Self-quoted. Well, this was frowned upon, by the way, to... Let's see. He posted... Is this the same day? The same day. So he posted saying, why is it called Kiss again? 1, 2, 3. 3 people reply. Excuse me! Why is it called Kiss again? Forgot my avatar used to be a GIF. Yeah, I don't think it works anymore. Or did I either it doesn't work anymore or I changed it or something happened. I can't remember anymore.
Probably a thing now that's you got to be legacy or hacked back in.
Yeah. It's the first look at this repaint, which is now going to come out as a repaint again in the coming year. Cyclic. The reveal of the final Alternator's bipedal robot mode. This thing is still really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Muse, looked up President Bye-Byes in order. We're coming up to one soon. Brace. Oh, God. We'll be able to look at the discussion thread for the next one, too. Oh, no. Okay. Unless it was news and politics, then that thread is probably gone forever. Decepticon first alternator mold. That is true. People are hype. Oh, it's in December 2006. Okay, it's a whiles away. What a way to close out the year. What the? That's hot. Found a podcaster post. Got TJ Omega here. I actually really liked the original design concept. Using the tires as pile drivers was brilliant. The design is interesting, and I love how it looks like the original Rumble, but the legs seem too short and stubby for how bulky they made the rest of him. Should have been blue! People are all posting, wow. Imagine if this is how Transformers reveals went nowadays, where they post something and everyone's just like, this looks great. Mm-hmm. That does happen. It's just, I'm pretty sure that we're in an era where if, actually, we've cycled around to an era where if this was shown, I think people would be hype, because it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Cybertron Unicron auction. What are people saying about this? Suffers from Energon Ironhide exposed head syndrome. Ace!
Oh, he actually wrote EIEHS. I thought you were like, yeah.
No, it's
smart
in
beast."
in parentheses.
Trying to keep up with my own scrolling for what you're looking at, and YouTube's video has me like 7 or 8 seconds behind.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Kit also pointing out that that Unicron is also being remade now that is true. Listen,
Wait a second. Did Hasbro just go to 20-year-old?
They're doing retro callbacks. These are retro callbacks to
Yeah.
retro old toy lines like Transformers Cybertron.
Yeah, because the kids that were kids getting this as kids are now the adults with discretionary funds.
Yeah.
God.
And Armada is older now than G1 was when Armada was new.
Shut up. Shut up. I mean, go on, good friend.
I think that's the point. Little spoiler for the review coming out tomorrow. I constantly refer to the mini-cons as old retro toys, except for one part where I also simultaneously call them weird new Transformers. Because I wanted to do both. I will say, this is also pointing out one of the bummers about old message boards is like, there is a lot of like nothing posting.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
that's-
people going like, "Yo."
That's current message boards too. I think.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's striking me strangely, like seeing it in the message board format, where it's just like someone just going like, "Wow," and like that's the post, and then it just goes, it just disappears. New masterpiece Starscream design image. Oh, this is before we knew what the toy looked like. That's kind of Discords as well. Well, Discords and IRCs, right? Chat rooms, for whatever reason, with chat rooms, I'm like, well, that's the scroll, right? Something about the published nature of message boards, like, always made posting like that, like, stranger to me over time, if that makes sense. They're going for almost alternator levels of detail. That is one detailed mofo! Oh, God. So, MP03 Starscream, in response to a picture of the alt mode. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm assuming they're adding so much detail to the alt mode because the robot mode will be simple to transform. It was not.
Yeah. There's a reason why he's banned.
I am also...
Probably not that post, but...
Admittedly, it's when I see a banned person, I'm zeroing in on their post because I feel less guilt to read their post in a funny voice.
On the very off chance that...
Well, there's anyone I'm scrolling past. Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Okay. Woo! Right after I reply in the other thread, I get to breathe a quick breath of relief. Looks good so far, ellipses. I was hoping to see some of the pointless, cool, fiddly bit features that are on there. To which it might be an easy transformation. This is what I'm hoping for, smile. Not losing the simplicity of the actual transformation, just making it more neato. Little baby. Little baby. But you see, I posted like 3 full sentences and interacted with someone. That was always in my head. Aaron, why weren't you posting? I never see you in here.
You know, it's a good question. something I frequently ask myself. I read a lot of threads, and I'm of the type that'll frequently start to type up something and then go, no.
My first review was in April of 2008, so this was very pre-YouTube. This is before I had a concept of making videos at all. That was just me posting for the sake of posting. How dare you use Neato unironically? I still use Neato unironically to this day.
Stop using Neato.
What's wrong with Neato?
It's not.
It's sneaky
Neato.
keen. I found an Alfie post. Very nice. Really can't wait to see this. Smile. We got a Weird Wolf post. Mine. Anyway, Ain't It Cool News sits down with Michael Bay. We have the actual interview here. Thanks, Ali Convoy. Oh, God, I forgot how this site looks. Hang on. Okay. Quint sits down with Michael Bay and sees tons of Transformer stuff. Ahoy, squirts! Quint here, currently writing from the seating area around Gate 46B at LAX with about an hour and a half until my flight to Austin leaves. I spent only 2 days in Los Angeles, but they were both filled to the brim. I got a call on my first day in LA telling me I had a meeting set up the next day with Talkback whipping boy Michael Bay to discuss Transformers. It seems I will be... What? Talkback whipping boy. I don't know what that means. It seems I will be covering a lot of this film through all stages of production. As a child of the 80s, if you were a boy in the 80s, you had Transformers toys. I don't care how poor your family was. My mom was a single mother working office jobs and waitress jobs to keep us going, and I had a few Transformers in my toy box. I, of course, have a heavy interest in this production. The parentheses was longer than the rest of the paragraph. I'm also not as venomous towards Bay as many people seem to be. I love The Rock. Armageddon is overblown but fun. I still haven't seen Bad Boys 2 or The Island yet, so that might explain my confusion at the hardcore punishment the man gets. For me, the idea of the filmmaker of The Rock and Armageddon directing a giant fighting robots movie is a perfect match. Why did he type like this? I don't know, y'all. You gotta go ask Ain't It Cool News. If he's flying back to circa 06 A... Listen. So I met up with a Paramount dude named Mickey, another huge Transformers buff, around the 3rd Street Promenade, and he led me to Michael Bay's secret lair in Santa Monica. The outside was surrounded by palm trees. We pulled into the drive. Bay was walking into the building, throwing a look over his shoulder at our approaching car. We entered the building. I noticed 2 things right here. Well, number 1, inside of Michael Bay's office is very open, with bamboo stalks all around the middle of the lobby. It was also surprisingly quiet. The second thing I noticed were the 2 living, breathing bears he had guarding the inner offices. I'm not kidding. Those animals were huge. The one sitting at the doorway, I would later find out this doorway led to a meeting room, raised its head as I walked in and growled. When I got a closer look at the animal, I discovered it was not a bear, but the biggest fucking dog I've ever seen. He stood up. I know it was a he. Use your imagination to figure out how I knew that. Walked towards me, slowly, very slowly. Hey, puppy. He still walked forward, and about 5 feet in front of me, he let out a deep resounding bark that sounded like the devil. I looked around, and no one at the office seemed to care I was about to get eaten by this animal. So I just want to throw a quick shout out. Quick pause. Quick shout out. So many thanks to Joe Moore of TFW2005.com for summarizing this calamitous mess, this literal finger puke, this dead man twitching face down on a keyboard, this absolute psychic vomit, this if there is such a thing as a mind palace, this mind latrine of an article at font size 47 for some reason. When does he talk about anything? See, the dog sniffed his leg. I met Michael Bay. Sure is a big cast. He is going to audition the original voice actors for the Autobots and the Decepticons. Is this in the okay, so this didn't make it to the front page bit. He showed me a rough design for the teaser post. This is true, I guess. A robotic eye overlooking planet Earth, kind of peeking over the curvature of the globe. The eye was in a brow the shape of a right triangle and looked very mechanical, iris and all. The tagline was, "Their war, our world." It reminded me a little too much of the ID4 poster. Bay was called away to talk to screenwriter for me. The dog was... Thanks for talking about the dog again. Even relented to a bit of a scratch behind the ears. A Transformers toy above Leatherface's mask. It was a shiny black toy with a customized Michael Bay head on it. A gift from Hasbro, apparently. I want to know what that was. Was that mentioned? Was that mentioned in the summary?
I'm trying to sit here and think if I ever had heard about that before.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I wonder if that was like a... I don't know, maybe that was like a first run. No, it's too far removed. Because I remember they did that weird like head printing tech once upon a time.
Yeah, but that's been in the last like 6-7 years.
Yeah, that's way too recent.
Oh, I said the thing.
Aaron, sorry. Did you just say 6'7"?
Yeah, I realized it afterwards, but I called it out. That way nobody else can. Make it lame.
Sometimes hang on. You might get a guy doing something when you we got a picture of the dogs. Holy crap. Those do look gigantic. Holy crap. Overstating the bears thing a little bit, I think.
No, if you're somebody that has to write, 20,000 words about a meeting in an office.
And you spend the first 3 paragraphs talking about the palm trees, the bamboo, and the dogs. Pre-production art stuff. With a smile, Bay said if the world ever had a giant robot problem, how we see the armed forces deal with them in Transformers is how we'd see them deal with them in real life. I remember that talking point way back, going like, I thought you're supposed to sell me on the Transformers being cool. And in fact, that is one of my lingering problems with the 07 movies, how much the movie tries to sell me on how the US military would kick the Transformers' asses. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm from Canada. This will be the first film to use the F-22. I think some of these tidbits are probably like known if one has watched like DVD featurettes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Here, first report on the robots. It was all silver metal and had many sharp angles. The biggest difference from the cartoon and toys is that the Autobots Decepticons aren't going to be as blocky. Bay said when they start breaking down how these robots transform from vehicle to robot, the blocky end result didn't make any sense and looked pretty silly. So you see the working parts of the vehicles much more on the robots. You see sharper angles, but they all stem from them transforming. He showed me another robot, a Decepticon called Scorponok, if I remember correctly. Although it could have been called Scorpicon. I thought you were a child of the 80s, you friggin' tourist-ass frick. A giant robot scorpion, which had 3 long pliable blades for each of its pincers, could join together, rotate, becoming drills, tail folded up, presumably skewer things. Got my first look at Optimus Prime. 3 things. Oh yeah, we eventually have seen these. The very blue Optimus Prime. Optimus you're seeing without his battle mask. By no means lithe and skinny. I vaguely recall discussing these descriptions.
Yeah, I want to say that one of Aaron Archer's panels had he had a bunch of like, hey, here is all of the development stuff I could find in my archives.
Yeah.
For the 07 movie. And some of it was that.
He wasn't sure about the movie at first, thinking it would be a giant toy commercial. What got him hooked was Shia LaBeouf's, finally someone spelled it right, character. Shia LaBeouf's character, a teen that is getting his first car, the rite of passage, blah, blah, blah. Atmospheric production art. We will actually see Cybertron. We saw 10 minutes of animatics. I think some of these animatics eventually were seen. Was that Nightwatch Silver? Oh no. If it's the one I'm thinking of, one of the very first movie Optimus designs had almost no red, and he had a way more like smooth head. And he was just like mostly blue and silver. Because there was a whole thing about how red is something they were trying to avoid because red films weird. Compared to other colors, and they didn't want to have to deal with the saturation issue of having a super solid red truck all the time. So originally they were trying to nix the red altogether, which is not how it played out. The flames were a big. We'll eventually get there. The flames were a humongous argument in the fandom at first for a good long time.
Yeah.
I saw them jumping all over each other only to be shot back by an arm cannon. I saw mid-air transformations from a jet into a robot as it collides with a standing robot in downtown LA. This time the Decepticon jumping out of the sand like the sandworm in Beetlejuice. So yeah, these were all legit animatics. It's interesting to read this now knowing what this movie is.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, like, when this article was new, the writing style made a lot of this, like, hard to parse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, random newsman. Do you mean Mission City? What about the dogs? Oh, good. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
They got back.
Stepped over back and was thinking we're friends, and he got growled at. Well, that's what you get for thinking that you made friends with Michael Bay's dog. You tourist. Quint at ain'titcool.com. Does anyone know what happened to Quint? I'm throwing that out to the team. All right, let's see how this went. First reply: I feel the need to note that Ain't It Cool News has been known to be grossly wrong before. Very true, especially at the time.
Uh-huh.
That was actually accurate. Is this the concept? This is what's in my mind's eye. Yeah, hang on, let me pull this over here. But there's a version of this with almost no red on it, if I recall correctly. But that's the head I was thinking of, the smoother head. In my mind, I always call it the Ronin head. I don't know why. But I'm pretty sure there was like a design similar to this that had no flames, and it was just like steel and blue.
I want to say it wasn't. It might have even been a slightly smoother design.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Like I think it went from like that one, and it was like, hey, add in red in there because Optimus Prime is red and blue, and see what we can do. And maybe, I don't know, knives.
These two things
on
up here, I don't think these were here right away, because I believe these were a later addition, the two, like, not smokestacks. Thank you, Shia! There was definitely one with a samurai-style head design. Okay. Yeah, but they were... There was a weirder... It's weird to say, like, less chunky, because it wasn't like Bumblebee movie smoothing. It was just a smoother, weirder-looking robot. Aaron, we got aeronautics coming in here real fast in the thread.
Yep.
The F-22 can stop and hover? Nope. Jeez, full support of the U.S. military, and the movie makers don't even know what the heck they're portraying. Fellas, the F-22 cannot stop and hover. The F-35B, which is made by the same company based somewhat on the F-22, can. The F-22 has thrust vectoring, which aids in making smaller turn radius via pitch. The F-35B is short takeoff landing, STOL, plane that can do VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, unarmed. So an F-35B can hover unarmed, and F-22 cannot. I guess this semi-confirms Starscream as an F-22.
The F-22 might be able to do something akin to a Cobra maneuver. I know I've seen 22s do like a Cobra maneuver, high maneuverability thing, but no. And maybe the way that they were talking of like it can like pull up and hover is what he was talking about to try and do a trick shot, but that's all very fucking Top Gun Maverick remembering his airplane and believing in the heart of the cards nonsense that.
One question. Why Scorponok? Someone actually hyped that Starscream's going to be an F-22 and not an F-15. At least the G1 guys are being seriously considered. Kit, 10 out of 10 aircraft nerd there. Hell yeah. People were really hype about Scorponok. Oh no. I'm not thrilled about Scorponok being in it. Way too early to have someone that big and to have headmasters in it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, bud.
Yeah.
What if I told you Scorponok, in fact, this doesn't transform? A lot of people just assuming Scorponok is a city, it sounds like. Wasn't the F-22 used in the Hulk movie? F-22 or F-15? I just don't really care as long as Starscream and the rest of the Seekers are jets. Oh, it's just Starscream.
Yeah.
Look at this. My biggest fear is having nothing but 84, 85 Transformers. I don't know why that's sticking out to me. It's just like a very like granular take to have. Given where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like this through line. It is too soon for Scorponok. We have to set him up first.
A whole series of movies in order to explain. Okay, so Nebulons. Okay, no, you got to go back. You got to.
People being anxious about the battle mask. At the time, I feel like I would have felt that's kind of weird because it's like we had him with a battle mask in Beast Wars, dog. Like we just had a really cool Galaxy Convoy toy with a flip-up battle mask. Oh, here we go, another one. Pulse. What he described in the article wasn't a real hover; it's a tail stall. And the trick can work on almost any high-powered jet. The latest MiG was the best at it. In a nutshell, the aircraft ends with its engines pointed straight down at high burn. The aircraft hovers, or in the case of the MiG, can even go backwards, and is still stable enough to not only balance on the vectored thrust of the engine, but it can then change its altitude and fly off. So that's the trick he mentioned. It's not one that's been used in combat that I'm aware of, as jets that can perform that haven't had any other jets to fight against that performed well enough that they need to use it against them. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you're also then subjecting your jet to like its own heat because there's no airflow over it, and it's a surefire way to totally just chooch everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. It's like, hey, yeah, it can do that, but you'd be dumb to have it do so. Please don't ever make it do so.
I've got
You don't want to know what the maintenance looks like after you've done that, and the maintenance people are the ones that own the aircraft, not the pilot. They let the pilot fly it.
Robot Lordkeeper pointing out we are 2 steps away from the era of War Thunder leaks. Wonder if Pulse maybe went on to be a War Thunder poster. This could be the best thing for the franchise since 1996. That's such a phrase of its time. No one even thinks about friggin' 1996 anymore. Yeah, Hero Prime. That's Harlod. I'd also like to see a pic of that shiny black toy with customized Michael Bay head. Let's see. Fight sounds. Ooh, wanging bots on the head with light poles. Haha. So we're 2 months out from the teaser trailer. It sounds like, roughly. Oh my god! It continues. You're confusing the tail slide with the Harrier JSF F-35B hover characteristics. A tail slide is when a plane goes straight up 90 degrees till it decelerates to 0 knots airspeed and descends backwards tail first, then drops nose down and regains speed. The Flankers and Fulcrum family of fighters are known for this. I have no doubt an F-22 can do this, but it's not a trait displayed even much at all. Hell, I haven't even seen it to do it. The only military use of a tail slide is to break radar lock from old pulse Doppler radars. Anything slowing down that slow and at 90 degrees in relation to the radar signal will break lock. Not so sure with the new AESA radars. In a close-in dogfight, I question its use since any fighter following in vertical behind it could see it coming a mile away. You're mentioning engine nozzles being pointed straight down to hover and then switch directions so the plane can go another direction. The F-22 cannot do this. The Harrier can. The F-35B cannot do this unless it is unarmed, since it is, as of yet, too heavy. In case this still proves In any case, this still proves Hollywood still doesn't know the military that well. They call F4s in Iron Eagle 2 MiG-29s. For Christ's sakes, that's so terrible. So I think Kit mentioned earlier, what was it? And people say autism is new. It's been existing since at least 2006.
Yep.
Also, message board culture. This is another beautiful thing about message boards, is you have a normal thread going on, but two people are having an extremely specific conversation that occasionally manifests during your perusal of the thread as these sudden blocks of texts. I want to see now if there's more of this. Hang on. Okay, Wuljuk commenting here. I actually have seen a video somewhere where the F-22 sits in a tail slide and then vectors out into a tight sort of falling turn. It's been a while since I've seen it, and not sure where, but I do remember that it is not common practice to do this, unlike the Harriers and the F-35s. The Raptors and Fulcrum's engine end up staturing to run in a very hot state because there is not a lot of air passing through the engine intakes, and it makes the engine run a little rich. I've also heard that this is actually a dangerous tactic to use because the engines have a tendency of flaming out or just stop running. Aaron, are these all true? Are these people all on point here? Okay.
Like the engine works, like aircraft engines work the same way that car engines work. You pull in air, you explodey thing to make twisty stuff happen, and then you use the twisty stuff somehow to make what go. Like it's a combustion cycle, really distilled down for idiots. Not saying that our listeners or our watchers are idiots. I don't know about you.
We got another Autobot Goldbig coming in here saying, or it could be that Ain't It Cool News doesn't know which one they're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I was saying, is if you're not getting air through it, then like it relies on that hot air traveling through it for propulsion and for cooling. It's why heat-seeking missiles seek heat.
You see Dark Convoy's post? For God's sake, can we stop arguing about jets? This is some of the biggest news we've gotten on the movie, and we're arguing about what jet is what. Immediately afterwards, not for the flankers. Their Lukia AL-31Fs are not prone to stalling in those maneuvers, and it's been noted for a long time now. In an F-14A, the tendency to flame out is there, but not in the flankers. Yeah, to be immediately followed by more jets. I gotta see if the jet thing took over this entire conversation.
No. Here's the jet talk has fallen off.
Damn it! I wonder if a mod stepped in and went like, "Will you cut it out with the jet talk?" Actually, wait. Dark Convoy might have been a mod back then.
Maybe. I'm also not saying I'm still somehow a mod, and so I'm not seeing any. Oh no, it does. Around 76, Pulse comes back again, I guess. I'm not seeing any of the like Telltale deleted flags.
Oh yeah, no, I was seeing those too when I was. But don't everyone ignore those when you see the deleted post ephemera. Wouldn't be very happy if Optimus had some super alternate mode for the final fight that involves a battle mask. Also, people were worried the battle mask was only for like a super mode that doesn't exist in the end result. Some guys at the Don Murphy boards keep insisting this is all fake. Was there still Don Murphy Ain't It Cool beef at this point?
Maybe.
Smokescreen 1980 coming in with the clutch. I love how there's a big debate over how realistic it is to have a specific type of jet hovering in a Transformers movie. Oh my god!
Yep.
People are... See, another beautiful thing about message boards, right? Is when you... Because this would happen to me. When you get into one of these, you would stop reading the other replies and just look to see if the MF that was calling... That was, you know... Not calling you out. That was disagreeing with you had the gall to continue to try to get the last word. Actually, Actually, I made a point of not saying it was like the hover a Harrier can do. It's a tail stall. Look up the word stall. I'm not trying to be rude here, but you're using a slang term, tail slide, and talking like it's a real term. It's not. This is a stall. And yes, the aircraft would be very visible to any aircraft on the same level as it for many miles, but as was stated to you, this is the Cobra trick, or some variation of it, and it could be used with a skilled pilot in the right conditions. And the nozzles I mentioned were actually the vector fins on the turbine engine. They are used to change the pressure of the thrust coming out of the engine. They are on the main engines, the only ones I mentioned. Look, I spent years as an aircraft crew chief. My father worked on everything from F4s to A10s to SR-71s to U-2s. I've been around this stuff for the last 20 years. The act he described is doable in the F-22, but it's not a hover, which was my point. He heard that the aircraft would stop moving and decided it was a hover. But if you read the description, he's described a tail stall. Edit. Also, when I talked about the plane changing its altitude, what I was describing was an altitude over airspeed move. As the aircraft would be in a stall, the pilot could use the controls to slowly, relatively, move the nose into a downward angle. Then he would sacrifice altitude, fall, to pick up airspeed, causing lift, to allow the aircraft to get back up to a decent speed. On topic, as for Prime's battle mask, think it's going to be his faceplate. It'll slide down so they can show emotion, him speaking, etc. Then when he's in a fight, it'll pop up for a more classic look. Demonstrably, I'm only adding this sentence so I don't get yelled at by a moderator for posting off topic. Kid, God bless Tylenol.
There is more further on.
Oh, yes! Hang on, this is another good one.
Page 6.
I'm not going to be placated just because some Bay claims he auditioned them, they weren't good enough. He has to get at least Cullen and/or Welker, or I don't see it. Yes, I know he doesn't care what I think, but someone coming in with the "your unpurchased ticket will be my second theatrical viewing." That's we call old message board needling. That's bait. So page 60. So what's on page 5? Did no one scrap on page 5?
I panned through relatively quickly. I didn't see much plain beef there.
Okay. I used to do bullet points like this, by the way. This is my... See, I liked posting aesthetically nicely. That was the thing. That was the thing for me. I can't remove the smile on my face. Oh, this is some Armageddon kicking back in 06. People not liking Armageddon. That's classic. Overly ripe sentimental cliche. Like Armageddon's kind of is absolute junk food. But it was a whole banned poster. I was hyped after reading this. Well, now you're banned.
Get fucked.
Where are we going? I got tipped off. I gotta go find it. Zero Prime. Who are you? Oh wow. See, okay. That maneuver, my friend, is called the Cobra maneuver. They actually let the engine stall out. I'm sure, however, that if the Navy F-14 can pull off a 0-0, then an F-22 should be able to do this as well if the engine has enough thrust. The aircraft sits at an angle very close to sea level and can fly along below flight deck levels at the same speed the carrier is going. A really cool effect. As for Starscream, I think I'd rather see him as an F-18 EF Super Hornet. Very badass plane, is the same size as the F-14s and 15s. I'm actually looking forward to both Motormaster and Scorponok, as I believe we heard once this is a retelling of G1, as one of our great fanfic writers put it, Transformers 2.0. Where the hell did Motormaster come from?
I don't know. The dude came in way afterwards, has some nonsense saying it should be Navy instead of Air Force, and then yeah.
Nope. What I described as a tail slide is a tail slide. The engines do not stall out during a Cobra maneuver or a tail slide. A Cobra is when a pilot is on the flanker or fulcrum, pulls back on the stick while disabling the AOA limiter right before then, enabling the craft to pull up past 110 AOA temporarily and recover to normal flight seconds later. It's like an instantaneous pitch up then recover. Tomcats aren't known to pull this off. Hell, no US fighter is. I've seen the F-22 performing high alpha maneuvers, but not a Cobra. David knows more than I do in this regard. Who? Thing is, while the Russians disable their limiters at times, the US does not for the most part, which might be the reason no one has seen an F-22 perform a Cobra. If anything, the Comanche would be cool as Springer. These tiny on-topic throw-ins at the end are killing me. Sorry, Aaron, you're saying.
Do you want some translations there? Because there was nerd shit up in that.
For sure, I'll just say Dynamo Dave saying, and the other guy was banned. But yes, please do translate.
So the AOA is angle of attack.
Yes.
So how far your nose is up or down. The American flight control hardware and software generally prevents aircraft from getting into potential non-recoverable states where they know, hey, the aircraft has these safety zones, these areas that you may be able to fly into, and these areas that you shouldn't fly into because you turn your very expensive flying machine into a brick. And so Russians have a switch basically that will say, no, I want to do this. And then they can put themselves into a situation where they could very easily become a brick with the idea that they are superior enough to, when they still have a little bit of energy, kick themselves back over or do whatever to come back into a normal flight regime. Normal, in finger quotes, flight regime. But yeah, the U.S. generally says, yeah, we'd prefer our pilots that we spent a lot of money on to train and the expensive aircraft that we've put them in not to become piles of wreckage, if possible.
Wave sign reverse with the personal message to the moderator team. They're discussing the possibility of visuals that might end up in the film. It's on topic.
Yep.
True. Zero Prime goes on to say, I'm not saying an F-14 or 22 can perform a Cobra. I said an F-14 can perform a 0-0, and that if the F-22 has enough thrust, then it may be able to also, which would give it a hovering look. Unless the Russians change their training, they do, or at least did, allow the engines to stall. As one American pilot once said, they are among the craziest pilots out there. It's called the Cobra because the end result looks like a Cobra striking. I may, however, be confusing your description with the attributes of the Cobra, though. Since you're from VA Beach, you may be familiar with where I learned this, and the sources are reputable. I am a graduate of NMITC and NTC Damneck. I am an AOB expert. On the other hand, if you're referring to the nice little maneuver where the ass end of a super flanker stops and the nose spins around, a la the Paris Air Show of '96, then that would be different. I still say the Screamer would be better as an F-A-18EF, though. Much meaner looking aircraft, and it does have stealth capabilities, though limited. No, this is totally... I remember people used to do this when they were having a beef, and they would, like, there'd be a silent agreement, like, okay, we're gonna do one sentence at the end, but we're fighting, okay? Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. And having to pull out what their credentials are.
The Paris Air Show of... I'm sorry, you don't know the Paris Air Show of '96? Do your research. Read a book.
Yeah.
From what I gather, the Flanker's Cobra is a post-stall maneuver. The airplane itself stalls, not the engine. The engines are running the entire time. The plane temporarily aerodynamically stalls due to temporary loss of lift. The engines are not stalled at all. Then the recovery they do would take a lot longer than what is being shown at air shows, and the planes would most likely crash to the ground, being that they usually perform this not too low, but low enough for the crowd to see. They'd need to dive in order to get enough air into the turbines for the engine reheat restart, which is why I said aerodynamic stall and not engine stall. The super flanker maneuver you described is the Herbst turn maneuver. The X-31 was the first to do this. In any case, the movie is being hyped up well. I don't think the movie will be that great, but I think the concept art may be phenomenal, judging by who's working on it. I have that to look forward to. These last sentence ass on topic posts aren't stopping. What the?
What the foot that you started to say? Do you have another question?
Don't go pulling Iraq into this. If you must go to the Middle East, bring back Carbomia or some crap like that. Politics and current events have no place in a Transformers movie. Cheebs, you have no idea what you are in for in about 1.5 years of what this movie is all about. Bring back Carbomia is one of those. I want to say, by the way, a lot of people post regrettable things 20 years ago, okay? And like for instance, I may have posted they should bring back Carbomia at some point. Obviously, I would not say that now. So we got to have a little bit of grace for people who have the narrowest of contexts for what they're saying. Oh god, it continues. Someone who's talking about F-22 colors. Okay, so it's not quite the same. Okay, it's just about colors. This is one post page at the end. Well, I'm stoked. For better or for worse, I'm going to see it no matter what. I'm Cammy's boy toy. We just click back 7 pages. Okay, now they've got Streetwise up. Too Cool Robot, so, hello, welcome.
Before you get into Streetwises, so interesting bit there, and I want to ask you a question, and maybe give a moment for chat here to get some a little bit more interaction. What do you think the first one of the G2 limbs went for? Chat, don't look ahead. I looked ahead. You don't get to look ahead. What do you think the ballpark is that went for on eBay in the year 2006?
Several thousand.
How many is several?
5.
Okay, 5,000. Anybody in chat want to try without peeking ahead?
I didn't peek ahead. But yeah,
I know you didn't peek ahead. You're sharing your screen. 300, 900, 4,500, 800, 1,200.
I'll elaborate
bouncing on either side. Elaborate on your thoughts.
My thought. So, because my thoughts involve context that could like deform how the people are voting, but I think they're more or less stopped now. I recall Transfan 2 spent an amount of money on this team of toys that made me have an existential crisis, is what I remember. But that was in 2006.
Okay.
So
I believe that you picked a number from 2026, not adjusted for inflation back to 2006.
Okay.
The first one closed at $3,050. Insane Graveltron cannot find what the second one closed at. It missed it and can't seem to find the thread about it now.
Okay. I was closer than I expected.
Oh, looks like the second one went for 1,825.
So it's going down.
To the same guy that bought the first one. Looks like he's going for the set no matter the cost.
Okay. If I recall correctly, Transfan 2 did not identify as the bidder until they had won everything.
feel like yeah. And then somebody there, I'll just bid 5,000 on Hotspot to screw up the set.
We were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Well, there's always Guard City for rarity. That whole set can cost about $800. A lot more reasonable. How much is Guard City nowadays?
Ugh.
Guard City is up that high now? Dang, glad I bought mine when it was new. Can I have yours, Smile? Thousands of dollars for bad molds and even worse color schemes just because they're super rare mint on sealed card. That is actually entirely what it is about, yes.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Congratulations.
Guard City was the opponent of Battle Gaia, which was a Bruticus repaint. Guard City was a Defensor repaint. It was what wasn't the line called? It was the Metro Titan line. But it was Guard City versus Battle Gaia. Neither of whom are Bruticus or Defensor, by the way. They are brand new characters. Personally, I like Black Streetwise better than the original white. Smile. Operation Combination, yes, I believe that was it. With the 6 combiners, the Micromasters. The leaders of the factions were Battle Gaia and Guard City. Got some damn funny robots. I want to see if there's any more news. These message board threads are making me giddy. Fan to fan updates. Wait, was the Masterpiece Starscream pre-order $75? That's wild. I always remember that toy being over $100 at all times. What is the Kiss Transformers? I had to go and come back. Has the tail slide battle ended? Is there peace in the land? Yes, the thread ended on a single post page of a guy saying, I'm excited and I'm going to see the movie. And his avatar was Cammy, Cammy Sprite, and his user title was Cammy's Boy Toy. So Cammy's Boy Toy came in and ended that one. By the way, I
feel like we're at a good spot for me to say it's probably about time for me to start bowing out.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Well,
there's a good aviation thing.
Well, remember, fan-to-fan updates was our last one. We open with first quarter loss.
Oh no! How will they ever recover?
So yeah, this is pointed out by Ali Convoy. Some of the older elements of that old design are on the old 07 Voyager Optimus. And then for those who want to see them, here is Guard City and Battle Gaia. This is what the two of them look like. So there's Guard City specifically.
That's red and orange is pretty close to what was on the back of those cards.
Hmm. Yeah.
Battle Gaia, not so much, as memory serves, but
that was Akiman himself. But yeah, boy, these. I'm kind of like, we'll see what the panel situation is when TFCon schedule goes up. But like either way, I'm kind of glad that we don't have to try to bull rush, because now that we have access to message board threads, like we. Like, oh boy,
down a little bit.
Oh boy, that was. I'm so thankful for that airplane discourse, the tail slide fight, because like, what a perfect encapsulation of like pre 2007 Transformers TFW discourse, or just message board discourse.
Yeah,
a thread with a topic.
You can only get that sort of pedantic arguing on Reddit.
Exactly, and Reddit isn't the same. Because like a subreddit argument turns into a thread that people can just click off, right? On here, it's like a virus that a new pustule opens every time another lengthy response appears, and everyone else trying to just enjoy the thread about the news is like, oh no, That guy just said tail slide. No! Aaron, actually, I'm surprised you were not wading in on that thread.
I mean,
Where was 03 Aaron at? Where was...
06
Or
Aaron
06
wasn't
Aaron.
a full aviation man at that time. I had aviation likes, but I was in civil engineering.
Right.
And would have known that stuff, but also, like, again, I'm frequently a bored reader, not a contributor, because I very well could have been typing up whole paragraph long responses and then went, wait, no, what's the point? I don't need I don't need this.
I think this is maybe when I started to have what I would always call poster's regret, where you're like halfway through a response and you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. And then you
Yeah.
just never go back to the thread because you don't want to know if that guy replied again. You're just like, nope, no, I'm not looking.
Yeah, I'm going to spend time. I'm going to write this up. I'm going to talk about things, and then I get gassed out about 2/3 of the way through. Sometimes happens. I will admit, I am somebody on certain platforms that when somebody's like, I hate every HOA. They're all garbage. They're all just whatever nonsense, and then I have to go like, no, they're yes, the origination of some HOAs is as walled in neighborhoods is a bad thing, but a lot of the times now it's requirements because when you make a subdivision, there's drainage aspects that a city doesn't want to take on, and so it has to be the people in that subdivision that take it on. And in order to have that, you've got to have like some sort of governance body, and then maybe if you're doing that, they've got a clubhouse. It's only for people that live in the neighborhood, and well, then somebody has to pay for that, and that's where big HOAs snowball. And you don't hear about the HOAs that are like my HOA, where it's like $100 a year for the dues, and the biggest scandal has been that somebody brought name brand sodas to a picnic when they said that they were going to supply drinks for a picnic. But then by the time I get all the way into that, I'm like, no, there's more energy that's going to go into that, and somebody's going to come back and say, well, what about this news story about an old man that got kicked out of his house because his grass was a half inch too long? You're like, yeah, there are crappy people everywhere, man.
Did this
They'd have found something.
Did this perhaps come from a subreddit?
I've written that out in the past in a subreddit. Yes,
I always have this
because it caught me at just the right time. Yes,
because I always
wizard burdened with accursed knowledge, but it's all to do with being sensible. Exactly.
Whenever Aaron has a chip on his shoulder about something someone posted online, I'm always like, because I always think of subreddits as Aaron's catnip, where like because half the time you tell me about these, it ends up being it was a subreddit.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, you got to stop looking at the
I
subreddits,
searched-
man.
Well, no, it's all like, hey, see what's like in all to see what interesting news might be out there or weird news might be out there, and then one of those things floats up to the top, and it's like,
you gotta those subreddits. They got too many toxins in them. They don't clean the subreddits enough.
But yes, the anybody that's in the like the fuck cars subreddits that are like, why can't we just make all cities walkable? And you got to say, like, how many billions of dollars do you have to spend on every small city, on each small city to make them a walkable city, like a New York or a Toronto or a Boston? That can only work in certain places, but since you no longer have that demand for density, it's a whole lot harder to have like it'd be great if my city was walkable and had a whole metro system that worked, but hey, there's no way that a city the size of my city would ever be able to support a metro system. So instead it has a crappy bus system that's crappy because it's too small to support something that would require the density that buses would require to make it actually work.
I was trying to find a picture. I assume someone had to have made a picture that's like friends don't let friends Reddit, but it's just showing me Reddit threads that start with the phrase friends don't let friends, and there are millions of them. It's
Yep.
I was trying to jump in with a clever thing. This is all I got. Let's get this mess. Anyway, friends don't let friends go on Reddit. You know a nice subreddit, the fountain pen Reddit, because people just post pictures of their pens and it's too niche for people to have fights that I can find.
Yeah.
Although I did after I did my first watch of everything but the finale of the Amazing Digital Circus, I decided, since I already knew going ahead, right? I put on my hazmat suit, and the first place I jumped into was Reddit / the Digital Circus. But that place stank to high heaven. Let me tell you. After I saw the finale in the theater, I went straight back in there. I was like, all right, time to see some real bad takes. Twitter had worse takes, but no, I've done the toxic Reddit dive. But my secret is I tape my hands together so I can't post. I can only leave. And
Maybe for the best.
anyway, Aaron, thanks for by the way, that code again is this. Thanks for joining me, Aaron.
Yeah.
We shall continue this because now threads are available, and that's
Mm-hmm.
my worst fear already happened, which is one of my posts showed up. So I've already pulled that band-aid, so now it's just up to Aaron to appear somewhere. But
Hey,
yeah,
Extra Life plugs as well.
Extra Life plugs. Yeah, I don't have them handy on my browser. You do it in the.
Yes, you did. I saw the QR code pop in very briefly.
That was a different window. I don't have. Do I have it in this one? And is it the right one? I have a bunch of QR codes. I have this one, and I have.
No, I
Nope.
saw one pop in at one point in time.
That was
Very
over
briefly,
here.
Right at the very
That was over
beginning.
here. That was this one. Hang on. Nope, I just moved you up even. Where is the move down button? There we go.
Hey, look, I can paste URLs in mine. Look, there's my link. I have dice available. $50, you get the 4 new ones. $60, you get the 7 of them shipped anywhere in the USA right now. If you are going to be at TFCon, let me know, and then I won't have to pay for shipping, and even more can go towards the kids. $50, you can tell me what to play for a half hour, as long as it's a thing that I have available, or you gift to me as well. Yeah. We'll be
Here-
at, we'll
here's
be
the
at
page.
TFCon. Maybe I'll have some jump start. Actually, I did get that good idea. I did pre-release for the Marvel, and was talking to a buddy there, and I know a bunch of people want to play. We've had people before say that they want to learn how to play Magic, but everybody just has a bunch of Commander decks, and Commander is the worst way to learn Magic, even though it's the way that most people are getting into and currently playing Magic. So I think I'm going to try to remember to bring some Jumpstart. That way, it's just 2 small things that you smash together, and it's relatively simple and straightforward gameplay. And it's 1v1, not a complex 1v1v1v1v1 setup to try to figure out politics and complex board states. It's just like, I play a thing and turn it sideways and try to smash your face.
1v1v1v1 the complex board states and politics, while also probably having to learn at least 200 to 240 individual cards at the same time. That's funny because I mean, if you're at TFCon and you got Magic cards, I heard there's gonna be Transformers cards at TFCon as well.
Yeah, probably.
That people can mess around with, and I even heard there might be some Ultraman cards skulking around. Who knows? But there's gonna be some Transformers stuff in the TCG room, one of the chillest places to hang out and be tempted to try to gamble on getting at some shiny gold cardboard. By the way, that's my Extra Life QR code, and I don't know if that's outdated or not.
Have somebody that's trying to get me into Riftbound.
I have been told don't, but that was by a store owner who runs successful Riftbound events.
That is an invalid URL.
Damn it! I need to get rid of that then. I'm gonna delete it. It's gonna confuse me too much. Wait, no, I leave it there because when I make a new one, then I can link to. Okay, never mind. I'll leave it there. Transformers Ultraman collab confirmed. Yes. Yeah, Riftbound is fine. I've just been told by basically, Riftbound. If you want anything from set 1, you won't get it. And I was told by a store that the slow play rules and the speed of Riftbound are not in sync, in that like high level Riftbound takes hours and hours and hours. So don't become good at it. Stay on the casual level is what I was told. Any Big Zam I think they made a Big Zam by now. I think in the Gundam card game, cards, you know, the prequel to Naruto, Gundam. I think there's a Big Zam. I could have sworn that I was trying to figure out how to do a Big Zam deck in like wave 1. So I think there's a Big Zam in the first set. Thank you, Armstrong. Yeah. I'm putting my neurons back together with the current block of years.
Oh, hey, a thing for sorting by all on Reddit. Arena employees win their union vote.
Oh, I saw that. Posted somewhere before the stream started. Yeah. Just goofing around. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that news bit. That was good to see.
And then a bunch of people posting cards that are also like union things. Solidarity.
Union Commander deck.
Dominaria United. No, wait. No, it was that thread. I think I closed it real quick. Coalition Victory, together as one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dominaria United could fit in there, I guess. Unless there's some fiction meta stuff I don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Naruto. Yeah, the next Bandai game for next year was announced this year. It is Naruto. It has another Dawn resource deck. Hopefully it does more than the Gundam resource deck. It's the Chakra deck. I don't know about Naruto, and I don't really care. If it's the same system, it'd have to do something. They'd have to take a wild swing for me to even glance at that game. But for the Naruto fans, at least you got a game coming out. But yeah, I don't know.
All right. I'm just babbling at this point. I'm tired.
Alrighty.
I'll let you go to end the show. Yeah.
Yes, I will catch you around.
All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.
I will turn those off. And I'm going to move this up to be next to Aaron, so I'm not searching for it all the time. Oh, the Gundam TCG, it looks like it did have all of its North American reprints now, because all the starter decks showed up and briefly were normal price at 401. They're not anymore, because Blurple is still apparently popular. But the product, it seems, has been renewed to some degree in North America, so it's floating around out there. Yeah, so Boruto's dad card game. But yeah, I've heard the Gundam meta is like is sorting itself out some more, and that there's like more viable decks. It's just that all I want now is to just like, I want to have a Witch from Mercury deck at some point, and as far as I know, that's not going to be hard to do. So I just haven't done it yet with the new stuff. But I'm never chasing the meta in that game. It's too volatile for me. Also, I hate the resource deck in that game. It should just be tokens. Like, it's a cool way to put out like alt arts and like fancy art cards. It's just I don't like a resource, like I barely like it in Digimon, because you can put a 5th card in to make it shuffleable, and it's only 4 cards, but like a 10 stack of things to flip and that don't do anything, for some reason I find really annoying. Yeah, the GDO4 Witch from Mercury stuff's the stuff I mean. I need to buy those singles still. I did not keep up with what's in GDO5 though. But is GDO5? No, sorry. GDO5 is not the SD set. That's the EX set. Right. Because I saw Witch from Mercury characters in the SD set, and I was like, oh no. But then I saw that they're all under G generation, so I can just happily ignore that. Blurple is still out there, but it's diversifying. That's good. My main problem with Blurple, other than being built on Grandpa Gundam, which is like also sort of annoying still that's still lingering, is it made Barbato's first form cost $50 in Canada, and I pulled one at the GDO2 release event, and I ended up liking Iron-Blooded Orphans, so I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't want to buy 3 of them because they're expensive. They've gone down in price a little bit now, thank goodness, but I was annoyed that there's a low-level LR that I want a playset of because I just want the IBO stuff, and it became expensive. I was trying to find all my things here. Hopefully, at some point, I will be able to stream ripping some more of some cards of some kind. Oh yeah, I'm not against bricking on resources. It's more just like an implementation thing, and it very specifically, the thing I don't like about the Gundam resource deck is that they're like fully rigidly, as far as I last checked, have a hard ban on any kind of proxy for the resource deck, and I always find that to be tremendously insipid, because the resource deck, it doesn't matter. It could be a bunch of paper rectangles. There's no advantage, or there's nothing to proxying any of the resource deck, because it's all nothing. It's just 10 random cards that mean nothing, and as long as they're rectangular and you can turn them sideways, that's all that matters. They have their own row to live in and everything. So just for some reason I got really like peeved when I saw that, like, you know, they're like, oh, you can't use any proxy resource cards, because I was like, why? And yeah, like, locals don't care. For some reason, I think it's because there are such cool custom resources that I'm like, this just seems like pointless. Because one of the main arguments about proxying is that since they're not of identical card stock, it is hypothetically possible to be able to feel, even though I disagree with this in some implementations, but it is hypothetically possible to feel a proxy amidst your other cards. Bandai cards, I think, being a better example of this, because there are different card stocks, at least in some cases, than a lot of your average Magic cards. But when the resource deck doesn't matter, because it's just a sequence of 10 rectangles, then it's just like it's like, why are we tournament ruling this? If zero TCG experience, I mean, like, you should look around and see like what the game stores in your area have. Obviously, Pokemon and Magic are played everywhere, and thus, if either of those interest you, they're probably going to be easy to find a learner game of. But if neither of those interest you, then I would say, like, figure out what card games look interesting to you, and then see what is being played in your local area. See if you have local game stores, and then check their event pages. And even give them a call and just ask them, like, hey, are there people showing up and able to fire off events for, you know, like Riftbound or like Cookie Run or something. And otherwise, yeah, like there's a lot of card games out right now. It's sort of, we're in a tenuous bubble situation, but it means that you've got, you know, lots of options to check into and see whatever like floats your boat. If you are interested though in Pokemon or Magic, then you're absolutely set, because you will find those being played everywhere. That is the easiest way to get into trying out TCGs. I was just going back to what Aaron was saying. If you do try out Magic, I would highly recommend, at least when you're being taught how to play Magic, don't just play a commander game, which is the most likely scenario to be presented with. If you got anyone you know who can teach you how to play it in a 1-versus-1 format, I would do that first. And also see if there are people playing, like, ideally situations where you can borrow decks from a local play group or something. Because I think that it is important to experience 1-versus-1 card gaming before you get into the, like, multiplayer stuff, for a variety of reasons. Some psychological. I think it's a lot to take in to have 3 opponents at the same time. Yeah, if you get MTG Arena, yeah, the MTG Arena is a great learning tool. It's just you have to delete it before you start actually putting money into it. Because MTG Arena is a great way to learn Magic. It's just like you have to have a very firm willpower about turning it off before you get entrenched in its version of gacha. What if I want to fight 3 opponents? You can't tell me what to do. You can go to a dang soccer game. The difference between MTG Arena is a fancy modern computer game setup that is very Hearthstone-esque in its aesthetics, and it's it's very high production value. I think this is not quite the case now, but at least on the onset, it's primarily newer cards. They have been backloading older sets into it, as I understand it, but it's very glitzy and it's very pleasant, and it's very nice to look at and interact with. MTG Online has been around for a long time, and it looks like a piece of software that's been around for a very long time. That means it is a place where you can play just about any format of Magic the Gathering, but it does not look pretty, and the interface might have a bit of a learning curve, because it does nothing to help you, as I recall it at least. So Arena is new, fancy. Online is old, reliable, basically. But like with Arena, right? Like, it's a great way to learn the game, and then I think the, like, Arena, if you do want to like spend money on a digital card game, like drafting in Arena is probably like the best thing to do, because then you're drafting. Well, if you want to, the thing about making a whole deck of proxies is like it really depends on your attitude going in, because if the attitude is just like, you idiots pay to play and I don't want to, then like they might just not want to play with you. But if the attitude is I can't afford any, then like, number one, you'll be spending a bunch of money making the proxy cards in the first place, so like figure out if that averages out. Obviously, if you're talking about like legacy Magic, that will average out very fast. But like, depending on the game and the place where you are playing, I've found it's very likely people will just say like, do you want to just borrow one of my decks instead? You know, that's infinitely easier than trying to proxy 60 separate cards at the same time. Speaking as someone who has proxied in upwards of like 400 cards in the same day because I was trying to do something that was not worth it. And that's in the case where I could print off a deck list as a PDF. If you're trying to individually proxy each individual thing, that's also going to be a whole other thing. Now, if you're doing individual proxies, then you have to just ask the players, right? In the case of playing at a card store for prizing, usually there is an issue taken, because there's the issue of like, are you circumventing spending money at the store you're playing at, etc. That's going to be very case by case. But if you're just playing like for fun, for no stakes whatsoever, then if you find the right play group, usually they're fine with it. In the case of Magic specifically, a lot more people are fine with it, because there are a lot of formats in Magic that are becoming, this is like outside of Standard, right? Even though Standard's kind of in the same place, I think, depending on what you're trying to do. There's a lot of formats that are now just like literally inaccessible unless you proxy a great number of the cards. But then again, that's again where I'm like, if you find the right play group, it's just easier to ask, hey, does anyone have a spare deck? Especially if someone is like running a cry cut and doing like a whole proxy operation, then like they probably have decks available, right? I highly recommend like seeing if you can just, especially if it's a game that like you're not even sure if you want to play it. Like, we do this in Flesh and Blood a lot. If you talk to the player group and just say like, hey, I'm interested in playing and I don't have any cards, and does anyone have like any spare decks and any recommendations, I find most player groups tend to accommodate that pretty well. Like, you'll be using someone else's cards, so obviously like there's the minor stress of like, don't shuffle them by hard bending them or anything, but like, because it's someone else's stuff. Isn't cry cut spelled read as cricket? I don't know. I saw the word first and I never heard anyone say it, and I was just like, well, cry cut sounds cooler. Yeah, CEDH, I mean, CEDH is almost, in my opinion, like its own game, right? Like it's a really interesting game, but it is its own kind of game. And it's a game with players who are far more... Flesh and Blood is like this, too. Players who are far more interested in having players of skill to test against than, like, I think most anything else. But, yeah, like, it is extremely case-by-case, and it is very much how you approach the question. Because, like, in a lot of cases, if you're playing in a game store, there is the necessity to provide something to the game store other than just your own presence. because of the nature of the game store itself. Like usually in a lot of game stores, it is just like, hey, put in like $5. Here's like a promo pack, et cetera, et cetera. But if you can find a game, the main thing for that is if you can find a gaming group, or if you can find a game store, and some of them will do this for Magic formats that literally say Legacy Night proxy friendly, or I saw one literally was like proxy Legacy Night. I feel like I once saw a store where they were like, they even just have Legacy proxy decks available, like in a library situation. You like check it out for the event, and then you give it back afterwards. Oh, Fairmead, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what like the cricket cry cut family actually like. I don't know the etymology. I just don't, and I never actually used a cry cut. I just imagine it makes really satisfying noises. But like I've played Pickup Commander a bunch of times, and someone's just like, "Hey, I've proxied like these. Are you all okay with it?" And then usually it's like, "Yeah, fine with it." It's only when someone's like, "Hey, I proxied," and then they list off like 12 incredibly powerful cards, and they're like, "By the way, my deck is designed to win on turn 2." And it's kind of like, "Well, do you have any other decks?" Because I'm just not interested in that game. And then especially if it's just to like replace individual cards. Like if you're playing a game where you've ended up buying cards and you just pulled cards and you want to use alt arts, like as long as the proxies just aren't like obvious, 4 times thicker than the rest of the cards you got or whatever. Like we've had things where someone's just like, "Hey, I got proxies of this card. Here is the card. I just don't want to swap this card around like 15 different decks. So it's here if anyone cares." And half the time people are even like, "Oh, I mean, you don't even have to show me that." Yeah, it's all by player group. If a player group like, and that's also a test. Like, if a player group's response is like, "Hey, can I play with proxies? I can't get cards," and they're like, "No," then it's like, all right, that player group probably, even if you had the deck, that player group might not be very pleasant to deal with in the first place. It really is. There's no like hard answer to this. It is absolutely like game to game, store to store, location to location, player group to player group. It's a bit more of a like board game style question to me than like anything else. Yeah, the Werewolf deck proc that's if that's what I'm thinking of. That's the one where every card is actually like multiple cards, and it like depends on like which, it's like the blue line means it's this deck, the red line means it's this deck, etc. Like in a very competitive 1-versus-1 game, one of the reasons why one might not like proxying is specifically because the sight read of cards that are upside down on the other side of the table can become a lot more difficult if the proxies don't resemble the cards they are whatsoever. It's like a niche situation, obviously. And in the case of Magic, that ability to sight read is being rapidly diminished by the sheer number of official alternate arts that are, existing over time. And the ballooning of the card pool, etc. But yeah, it's sort of like a very vibes-based. At the end of the day, I think it's a vibes-based question. It depends on the situation and depends on the group being talked to. And of course, not everyone is like laden with game store options. If you're playing like with webcams, for instance, then like, yes, it's fine to proc whatever, right? Like if you've already separated that much, it's like, yes, absolutely proxies are fine. Double face cards are a lot. My deck has official proxies with the actual cards on the side. Oh yeah, yeah. I always just stick the double face cards in, but I use sleeves where I can't see through them at all. Because I don't like having a side deck. I want my deck to be this little box I have. I'm just particular like that. Yeah, if there's no local game store, then it is most likely a case of like seeking out local player groups, and then just like you basically just say up front, like, "Look, I just want to play the game and I can't afford cards. Do you mind if I proxy, and or have any of you got like decks you're willing to lend? I just really would like to play. I would like to learn the game." Oh yeah, the unsleeve flip is kind of I guess I just got used to it because I have so many Transformers cards. should say Transformers Magic cards. The Transformers cards you flip, you don't have to worry about all that because those are all cards that don't go in the actual deck. But yeah, I just find especially if it's not like one of the main games, most player groups eventually someone is the person who's like, oh, I got like 20 decks. You know, we meet up at this time or whatever. And that's also a situation where like I'm rolling with the situation where you're also like new to the game or you're just like, I just want gameplay. I just want to play. Because that's usually like when I go to Ultraman stuff, I usually, now that I've been able to build more decks, I usually have like at least 4 or 5 decks on me. Partly also to recruit people if they get interested. But I'm able to also, you know, if a friend is there for like Digimon or something, it's happened once. I'm like, hey, I want to fire the event. I'm gonna lend you a deck. And if you want, I will pay your entry. I just want the event to fire. Yeah, the side deck thing, like, you know, for instance, resource decks, that's, as much as I have harped on the Gundam one, I'm like, that's fine, you know, whatever. It's mostly, I'm more so about the finickiness of it, and I think it partly is I just find, like, the sleeves I use, I'm able to go, you know, like, it's not too hard for me. But having to, like, to remember what all's on the side gets fiddly. The Gundam one, the reason the Gundam one bothers me is because I actually find it very fiddly that every turn I have to hold a hand of cards, draw a card, and then reach to another deck, take a card, flip it over, put it next to the other cards as I then try to untap them all with one hand. And it's, for some reason, that always makes me go like, I'm not getting anything from this because these resource cards don't mean anything. Past users use different person's deck every commander night. Crisis of enjoying my deck, not enjoying new stuff. It's probably, yeah. I mean, I believe that's a very common thing with very regular commander groups. Is like, let's just trade decks. It's also a test I've seen people do of like, you know, if someone has a deck that is like wildly out of power balance with the table, there's always the offer of like, hey, like, do you want to like try another deck? Like, I got some, or do you want to trade decks? Or if you're playing 1v1 even, I've seen that as a thing where, you know, like, it's a tester of, it's not a hard test, obviously, but like, it's a way, if you feel you're having a 1v1 with a regular playmate, and like one of you is losing way more often than the other one of the first things that, you know, someone might do is like, hey, can we trade decks? And you really start figuring out, like, okay, is it being bolstered by the deck, or is it being bolstered by the player skill, etc.? Yeah, I mean, with Ultraman cards, like, if you can't find like anyone who's like playing in your area, then like the proxy question is almost like, well, whatever, right? Because it's going to be like, the first question is, do you find anyone who's playing? And if you don't, and you just want to proxy the cards to make like a display of them or have like, you know, decks ready to go, whatever, then you may well be the person who's like, hey, I happen to have 2 decks. Does anyone want to try this? And at that point, like, I think you'd have to have a very narrow slice of humanity to find the person who's like, I not only am trying to play Ultraman in an area where only one other person is interested, and I may or may not have a deck, and they have multiple decks, but also I'm particular about whether or not the decks are proxied. Then it's like, you know, you've found like a vertical slice person that's like a precise reverse polarity of what you're looking for. But like, you know, in that situation where there's no group playing, and you can't find the cards, then like, yeah, why not, right? There's some card games, some of the much smaller card games just provide, some of the bigger ones too, but a lot of like Kickstarter card games often will provide a PDF of like, here's like 2 to 4 printable decks that you can just print off on printer paper, slot them in front of spare magic cards, and this is how you can try our game out while we're trying to actually get our game produced, etc. So like in that case, like it, you know, it's a cascade situation. Like, what's the base problem? There's no players, and also there's like no cards, or you have to order in cards, and it's like, well, just proxy some decks and see if players manifest, see if anyone's interested. Like I said, it kind of goes back to my initial main point. It's like, it's very vibes based and very context based, and it will always be very amorphous. But usually, like most people are fine with card proxying. It's just really like the approach, right? And like, and yeah, if you have like a system of just like, you know, printing and cutting cards all ready to go, then it's like, why not, right? And the nightmare scenario is somehow jumping straight from that to I want to qualify for nationals or worlds or something, and also use the proxy deck. And again, that's like, you know, again, very vertical, highly vertical slice, right? Like, it's a very unlikely situation. So like, why not? You know? Worst case is you might end up in a situation where you just in the company of a person who's like, Ultraman cards, I'd love to try that. And then you're like, yo, because they might go like, oh, I've always even better, a good vertical slice. I've always wanted to play Ultraman. It's just, I can't find the dang cards or anyone who wants to play. And it's like, yo, I not only can't find the cards and also want to play, I happen to have in fact proxied 2 decks to play with. And then someone's like, damn, this happenstance just prevented an entire lottery from being won. But yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, I'm repeating myself a bit, but it's like a stepladder flowchart of things to overcome, and you figure out what the root one is. And if the root one is just like, I can't find cards, I can't afford cards, and no one's playing, then proxying is in fact a net positive, because you are like, it's not like you're manifesting players, but you are literally doing the next step to finding any players, which is being able to provide the game experience whatsoever. And that is applicable, I think, for any game. That said, once people like really get like good systems in place for this stuff, like there are lots of people who, in light of the last, like, let's say 2 years of Magic the Gathering, I haven't read all of it because like I don't have room to put one in here. There's a lot of people specifically just for cry cuts that have like these like mass specified cry cut guides specifically for PDFs of specifically Magic the Gathering proxies and etc. But yeah, like your scenario really is one of many things that is variable and important to figuring out that answer. Speaking of figuring out the answer, I figured out where my stuff is. I did it. Oh, it's loud. Yeah, I just wanted to switch a camera cut when I did this because I usually do and I was already on the right one. So now I'm coming back here. Hi, thanks for watching the stream that I did. I'm going to make this lower. And yo, take care out there. We're going to continue news diving because we got message board threads now. But I have some other streaming I would like to do. I got some box opening that I would like to do. Some box ripping, in fact, that I've been putting off for a lack of streaming time for a while. I also got a couple other things I want to float by some folks. So always be sure to read the description of streams, because that will be very important. But in the meantime, tomorrow should be a new video review of some Armada toys, very thematic to retro news diving. And I am trying like mad to finish the 40% finished Ultraman card game video I've had brewing for literal months. I want that done before next month somehow, so I might not get it done, but I'm going to try to make progress on that. That might show up all of a sudden. That's just on my mind because of the conversation. Regardless, take it easy, take care out there, stay as safe as you possibly can and then some, and stay hydrated because apparently it's hot everywhere. Water's good. I'm a friend of it. I recommend. You're made of a bunch of it. Messed up.
Let them come.